Okay, right. So where we left off, which was for me about 12 or so hours ago. Uh, let's see. Got a book, Finam's book. Don't know what Finam's book's good for, but what was I trying to do? Okay, we're gonna go and try and find Delora's heart key, and also I want to talk to Falls from Grace.
Yes.
Can you tell me about the Tanarini? Or Tanarei? The Tanarei are fiends, some call them demons. They have embraced evil for chaos' sake. They dwell upon the poisoned plains of the abyss, where they feed on their own rage and lash out across the multiverse, despoiling all they touch. They forever seek to tempt others into committing crimes of passion and vice. And are you one of them? That is correct. I'm a lesser Tanarei, more specifically a succubus. She gives a soft eye. I'm afraid that, okay, we heard that bit.
Yes.
Other questions. How did you come by the name? The meaning of names is a complicated subject. There is much to be said and a great deal that is better left unsaid. Is it your real name? Perhaps, perhaps not. There are names which are given and names which are earned. Which is to say, which is the real one? Ooh. Earned carries the bigger weight. That may be so. Why do you think of that? Because a name that is earned is not arbitrary. A name that is earned tells you of what you've accomplished. Grace nods. Your point is well taken. So why are you called? Would it matter? It is an earned name. It matters to me. I would like to know how you came to be called it. I have fallen from my people. Some would say risen from my people, perhaps, but fall feels more right to me. She looks at you questioningly. Does that make sense? Well, let's see. Does it make sense? Da-da-da-da-da. Yes, it does. After all, fall carries with it an underlying sense of loss. There we go. Fall from Grace is silent for a moment, then nods thoughtfully. Yes, perhaps that is why it felt as it did. I came to terms with the loss long ago, but the name has remained. Are you sure you came to... Oh, yeah! Free experience points. Earned. The conversation earned them. Fall from Grace meets your gaze, and you're once again struck by a brilliant shade of blue of her eyes. It is turbulent like the ocean before a storm. I had thought so, yet in speaking to you, you have caused me to realize some things. You have my thanks. Well, if you want to talk about it, let me know. She nods. I will kindly
Yes.
do so. Let's see. Can you teach me anything of the art? Shakes his head. No, I do not believe so. The arts and the disciplines I practice are different. How do you mean? My powers as you see them stem from my faith, not from manipulating energies as the art does. The art is a mechanism by which the powers of the multiverse may be harnessed. Though gestures, rituals, and devices, my powers come to me through different means. My faith and the nature of my belief allows some of the multiverse to reveal itself to me. The nature of belief? Well, what do you believe in? I believe in experience. I believe a person may be changed for the better the more the multiverse they are allowed to perceive, and the more the multiverse is allowed to perceive them. My belief is in the nature of experience allows me to. She paused for a moment, thinking. I suppose the best explanation is that my faith allows me to see things differently. When you see the multiverse in such a way, you learn how to change things, mending wounds, seeing a person's heart, and so on, just by willing them to happen. But those changes you make seem a lot like spells. How do you learn to do those things? Do you have a spell book? No, my spells, as you call them, they come to me after I have rested and centered myself. When I sleep and awaken, I can focus myself once more. The amount of faith required to change the multiverse around me can be quite taxing on the psyche. I'm afraid just being able to see how to change things is not enough. You must have the strength to make the change happen and last. I
Yes.
see. I want to talk about our companions. Let's talk about Dakon. Dakon Grace raises an eyebrow. He's most uncommon for a Gatharzi. Really? In what way? Well, he obeys you. That alone would mark him as a pariah among his people. His entire race were once slaves, and even the reminder of servitude to them is distasteful. Dakon approaches everything in an orderly fashion. Again, most curious. They tend to be unpredictable. They follow their impulses rather than the plan. He seems a most pious Githeri and a steadfast ally. Ah, he is. Okay, what about Anna? She is strong and capable, and is quite passionate. I almost wish I had met her up ago and asked her to come to the brothel. Perhaps things would have been different. Grace studies you for a moment. What do you think of her? Oh, loaded gun. Or loaded question, even. I think she doesn't care for you very much. I think I could fall in love with her. I consider her a friend, nothing more. I don't really care about her one way or the other. I hate her, I don't trust her. I don't think she cares for you very much. I would agree. Grace smiles. But, oh, give me a second. I'll deal with that later. Okay, right. I would agree, but I shall not let you dodge my question so easily. What do you think of her? I consider her a friend, nothing more. Very well. I want to ask someone else. Okay. Mort. Mort is most peculiar. I have seen a great deal in my life, but nothing quite like him. He behaves somewhat like a mimmer. Granted, there's no denying he is knowledgeable, but he has a certain... She sniffs the air and wrinkles her nose. Batorian smell about him. Batorian? Yes, but he's not Batezu, at least of any variety I've encountered. The smell alone, however, makes me treat the skull with caution. What do you mean when you say Batezu and Batorian? My apologies. Bator is one of the outer planes, the home of the race of fiends called the Batezu. They are evil creatures, yet they are organized and lawful in many of their behaviors. Some might call them devils. They believe in contracts and hierarchy. In many ways, they are like evil bureaucrats. And what about this Batorian smell? Well, he's not Batezu, but at least of any variety I've encountered. The smell alone, however, makes me treat the skull. Okay. What were you saying about a mimmer? Mimmers are encyclopedias of knowledge. The owners may ask them questions, and if they possess the knowledge, they will inform the user of what it knows. And Mort's a mimmer. I don't believe so. Mort lacks the silvery metal that mimmers customarily have, and he seems to have an attitude of his own. Such qualities are not present in conventional mimmers. Grace shrugs. He may be one, but he's unlike any I've encountered before. I think Mort's a mimmer. Well, then enough has been said on the subject. Okay. What about me? To be honest, I'm curious as to your feelings about me. I'd like to know your thoughts on my situation. Do you know anything else that might prove helpful? Well, shadows keep coming to kill me. I have a feeling they're following me, but I don't know why. Well, I think there's someone out to murder me, as so much so I've built a tomb trap to try and kill him. According to an inscription in the tomb, he's been coming after me for, well, as long as my incarnations can remember, it seems. Number 1. Shadows. It's all from Grace, silent for a moment. Shadows are shades of the dead. They don't tend to hunt. They tend to lie in wait for victims. Okay, cool. That's interesting. Okay, what about the tomb? Then whoever the killer is, he's lived a very long time to have pursued you for so long. Could the killer be immortal as well? Possibly? I'd like to know your thoughts so you have on my situation. Okay, another thing. Oh. No, we're not done talking to you. Do you ever use weapons? No, there's seldom such a need, and I find I cannot bear the touch of cold iron or even steel for long periods of time. In any event, I have a number of natural defenses that tend to discourage attackers. Such
Updated
as
my journal.
the kiss of a succubus is lethal to mortals, though they rarely realize the danger until their death is almost upon them. I can resort to it when the need arises. Okay. Why did you set up the brothel? Can I read your diary? No. Very well. Oh. A lady must have her I didn't mean that, please, but oops. Okay. Why did you set up the brothel? Much pleasure. Okay. Thank you. First off, Mort.
Hey, what's eating you, Chief?
Mort, why didn't you tell me with that extra... Okay, let's see. Could you use some advice? You said you're a mimmer, right? Yeah. A mimmer's a floating encyclopedia. You put information in, you get it out. But aren't mimmers made of silver and metal? So, maybe some are, but I'm not. And there's stranger things in the plains than that, Chief. I don't think you're a mimmer, Mort. What are you? What's with the interrogation? What do you know about mimmers? I know enough to think you're lying to me. First, the bit about the missing line on my back, saying not to trust you. even this, what am I supposed to think? Okay, I'm not a mimmer, but I know a lot of stuff, so I might as well be one. Well, what are you? I'm a floating skull who knows a lot. And what about the Batorian smell? What would you know what a Bator smelled? I'm like, hey, you've been talking about me to the Tanari, haven't you? What does she know? Well, she's obviously touched on something. That is a Batorian smell, right? Well, yeah, but, well, so I smell a little. Excuse me. Why? I was in the hills for a while, kind of a long while. The stench kind of grows on you. What were you doing in the hills? Ooh, whoa, nice. See, well, there's a pillar on Avernus, the first layer of Bator. It's called the Pillar of Skulls, but it's more like a pillar of heads. To hear some bashers tell it, it's supposedly made of heads of birds, mostly sages and scholars who used their knowing of this and knowing of that when they were alive to stretch the truth a little, so much they might have hurt or killed someone by doing it. Well, when I died, I ended up there. Funny, huh? Not really. Oh, Morgo's silent for a moment. Yeah, you're right, it's not funny at all. You see, I think I know a lot of things when I was alive, and maybe when I did know something, I didn't always tell the truth about it. I'm thinking that when I bent the truth once or twice, I may have led to someone getting penned in the dead book sooner than they should have. Can you remember who? I can't say how I know it, Chief, but I think it was you. At least once. Thing is, I can't remember what happened. I don't even remember being human, or what it was like before I woke up on the pillar. Okay, well, why did you forget? That's pretty much the way of things when you die, as I'm sure you're no stranger to, well, you just forget. I figure I wasn't a sterling member of community when I was alive, but hells, who is? It's just that I can't help it. Nothing's worse than being honest all the time. Except being sentenced to hells. That sounds a lot worse than telling the truth. Yeah, you're right. Again. Mark clicks his teeth. The way he does it reminds you of someone drumming their fingers. I guess just all that good and evil and lying and cheating catches up with you, and when I got penned in a dead book, it was my turn to pay the ferryman. How did you escape the pillar? Well, you helped me, Chief. When you showed up at the Pillar of Skulls, I pushed my way to the front. My obvious know-how and charm attracted your attention. You knew that I was the head that knew the most, so I cut a deal with you. A deal? As Mortis speaks, your vision seems to bleed into a fire red, and you hear a howling, a horrible, screaming tower of voices. Chittering, screeching, hammering, all of them begging, screaming to be freed. And Mort's voice, faint, almost lost in the horde, he sounds desperate, frightened, and pathetically, tragically lost. You shall speak. The howling voices fall silent, and you watch the tiny red-lined skull, its cracked features cast in hellish light, turn its eyes up to you. Blood and ichor have streamed across its features, and its teeth chatter as if cold. I can help you. I know what you seek. All these heads, all their knowing. Just please, I beg you, free me. Let me help you. I'll tell you anything. Everything. Will you swear it, Skull? Swear you will serve me until my end days? Or here you will remain? I swear, just please, please free me. You watch as Mort sickeningly swallows his pride, almost a tangible thing. I beg you, let me help you, please. Very well, I shall free you. Your vision slides as if you are moving, and the howling, screaming cacophony begins again. A nightmarish horde of howls and catcalls and taunts and insults. The feel of your hands sliding into the filthy quagmire of the pillar. The biting of fangs, mandibles, and your hands locking around the tiny skull and ripping, tearing it from the pillar like an old scab. It is done. You look down at the bloody skull in your scarred hands, its eyes covered in ichor from the pillar, and its teeth chatter once, twice. It reminds you of a wailing newborn, helpless, and the eyes of the man you once were, pathetic. I have freed you. Now your life and your death is mine. Mort. Your vision swirls, the mists of the past drifting away, and Mort is still chattering on. We talked for a while, Chief, you and me, seeing whether the arrangement would work, and I think we both were really impressed with each other. So you invited me off the pillar, and I've kind of been with you ever since. Well, what happened then? Well, I didn't know I'd lose most of the pillar's knowledge once I was out of it. I mean, how was I to know? I'd never been off the damn thing. But you were pretty understanding about it. You lost all of the knowledge. Your vision swirls again, making you dizzy, and you feel your gut churn. You hear the cracking, snapping of bone, and Mort's howls, howling in pain, screaming for someone to stop killing him, and your hand lashing out again and again. Damn you, Skull, you lied to me. I thrust you back in there, you damnable power, and leave you to die there. There's a clatter of bone against what sounds like metal, a floor or a wall, and the skittering of teeth knocked free. You can hear more mewling like a beaten dog for you to know that your suffering on the pillar will be nothing to the torment I will make you suffer. Your vision swirls, and Mort's cries ebb, fading into this chattering rhythm. So you realized I still had my uses, so I took up with you, and I've been with you ever since. Mort, what did I want from the pillar, and how long was it that I freed you? Mort thinks for a moment. Well, as for how long, I don't know the exact count, Chief. Ages, I suppose. I've done all I could to help you each time, but Mort sighs. It's not easy, and as for what you wanted at the pillar, I don't know. Once you pried me off, I couldn't remember. Mort, why didn't you say something when we were at the mortuary? Mort suddenly becomes defensive because I never know who you're going to be. Some of your incarnations have been stark raving mad. One time you awoke obsessed with the idea that I was your skull and chased me around the spire trying to shatter and devour me. Luckily, you were crushed by a passing cart in the street. Another good and lawful, you tried to thrust me back into the pillar because it's where I belonged. More smirks. That's why. Besides, no harm's ever come from not knowing. So you've stayed with me all this time? Well, yeah, Chief, I said I would. Moore always keeps his promises. He pauses. Well, most of them. There was this one chit on Aboria who... You suddenly realise that Mort's tone has changed. Past the joke, you realise he's trying to hide something. Something about why he's with you. Mort, seriously, why are you travelling with me? Chief, I said it's because I promised, alright? He looks irritated. What else could it be? I don't know. You didn't need to stick around after I freed you. Well, of course not, Chief, but... And suddenly his toy strikes a chord in you, and you know why he's remained with you all this time. You feel guilty because you led me to my death so long ago, isn't it? And you've been suffering ever since. Oh, come on, Chief, me? Feel guilty? I'm Mort. No, I think that's it. When I came to free you from the fate you deserved, you couldn't help but try and help me. And when you could have left after I freed you, you remained because you felt indebted. Mort is silent, looking at you. Maybe you know what's funny? At first, I don't know what the feeling was. It kind of slowly eats at you, you know? I mean, at first I thought it was a side effect of some enchantment that bound me to you. But after a couple 100 years, I realized it was more than that, something deeper. I just felt drawn, connected to you somehow. Maybe it's all your suffering, Chief, your torment, I don't know. Maybe I felt, I don't know, responsible for whatever it is I did. What if something I did brought you to this state? Thing is, I don't think me or whoever I was really ever had to see the consequences of all the lying and cheating I'd done. And when I saw you for the first time when I was trapped in the pillar, somehow I knew that you were the one that betrayed me. The one I'd betrayed once, long ago. More size, that's all I know.
Updated
I see.
My journal.
Oh, strength +4, dexterity +2, constitution +2. Well, so in talking to more, I think I've gained 36,000 experience points. Yay! No, don't thank me. More sighs, and to your surprise, his voice seems stronger somehow, more confident. Some of the cracks and fractures in skill have vanished as if healed. Nah, the thanks is all to you. I feel I just had a plane moved off my shoulders, so to speak. Okay, let's have some other questions. Nah. Ooh, Ravel, actually.
Yes?
About our travels. Have you ever heard of a night hag named Ravel? I'm unfamiliar with the name. Fall from Grace pauses and thinks for a moment. Rumours cluster thickly about the name, and most tend to discount her as myth, and I suspect that she did exist, and that she made quite an impression in the cage during her stay. Why do you ask? I intend to seek her out. Truly? I find my compelled to ask why. I need the information she has. Is this information available from no one else? I suspect that only Ravel possesses it.
Updated My journal.
Grace rests her hand lightly on your arm. Consider this, if Ravel does indeed exist, then she is extremely powerful and cunning. If a fraction of the stories of her activities are true, then she is a creature that has discovered new meanings of evil. The search for her is not a quest to be undertaken lightly. I realise that. Well, I have never met a myth. This should be quite the outing. Nope. There we go. Don't you ever try doing anything boring? I try not to. Do you know anything else about Ravel? She was said to be one of the hags of the Grey Waste, and that she was believed to possess powers and a cunning far beyond those of her sisters. She came to Sigil long ago, and in addition to the evils she committed during her stay, rumor has it that her actions threatened the cage itself. Now she primarily exists only as fiction, a figure in children's stories. Oh, hello, Lack. Good to hear from you. Or actually, good to see you. Like, that's the thing, I think the fact that I'm pushing myself to do a very lore heavy one and talk and try and explore a lot, I find a lot of things that I'm not, and also I'm trying my best not to save scum. Like, I'll save immediately before if I think something is catastrophically bad. Like, for instance, angering all of the Dusties in the mausoleum. It's like, I don't want to do that. But from here on, it's pretty much if something happens, it happens, and I'll just keep going. Much like how I think there is one guy that he's dead in this session, so it doesn't matter. But I was pretty sure he's a competitor to Farad, and you can get a few quests for him, and if you do it, you get a bunch of rewards. I accidentally killed the guy because I angered him because I hit the wrong option, tried to talk to him again, and he's like, I told you to leave, and then he attacked me. So I kind of like that you can really screw things over. And I don't know where the rewards are. So it's quite a pleasant experience for me just to see if I'm doing the right thing or not. But I don't think there's a right or a wrong way of doing it other than just continually killing people. Let's see. She was said to be one of the Hags of the Grey Waste, and that she was believed to possess power and cunning far beyond those of her sisters. She came to Sigil long ago, and in addition to the evil she has committed, during her stay, rumour has it her actions threatened the cage itself. Now she primarily exists only as fiction, a figure in children's stories. I imagine the Lady of Pain dealt with her as all threats into Sigil.
Updated my journal.
Ravel was most likely sent to a maze, one of the lady's prisons.
Updated my journal.
Grace places her hands together, thumbs and fingers touching, forming a rough circle. The lady is said to have the power to take pieces of Sigil. You watch in surprise as a ghostly image of Grace's little finger pulls itself from the hand and floats into the air, curling into a small circle, and make a maze. Now that's an impressive skill. So done that, and a bit of the pinky just basically floated off and is floating and made another circle. That's quite a trippy concept to watch. Go on. The small ghostly circle floats in the air, then begins slowly rotating. That piece of sigil she takes hold of the prisoner. There is no escaping being mazed. It can happen at any time while walking down the street through a door. She claps her hands, and then you're somewhere else. Inside the ghostly circle, you can suddenly see a flicker of movement like someone walking inside. Go on. Grace continues. The tiny ghost maze reflects in her eyes. It is said there is a portal that leads out of each maze, but they are difficult to find. Perhaps they are left in to give the prisoner hope. Perhaps they are left in to torture the prisoner. The ghost maze dissolves. Perhaps it is both. I see. Can you tell me more about this plane that Ravel is from, the Grey Waste? A blighted plane that lies effectively between Bator and the Abyss. It is frequently a battleground in the Blood War. Ho 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 ho. Hold up. Enough about Ravel. What is this Blood War? The Blood War is the conflict that rages across the lower planes between the Batezu and the Tanari. They fight over whether evil should be lawful or chaotic. It is a war best avoided at all costs. Let the Tanari and the Batezu butt heads and leave the rest of the planes in peace, or in at least relative peace. Well, the war is so large that most races get caught up in it. Against their wishes, ignoring it often proves just as dangerous as participating in it. Well, do they use humans? On occasion, yes. There are a number of human mercenaries that participate in the Blood War. They serve as either soldiers, fodder, or for cannons, or food for the fiends. You said that as long as the war goes on, the rest of the planes are allowed relative peace? Okay, right. How long has the war been going on for? According to the chronicles, the Blood War has been fought ever since the Batezu met the Tanari, a very long time ago. I'm not certain there is a human term that encompasses the time between them and now. She shakes her head. I'm afraid that neither the Batezu nor the Tanari have ever really taken to the other. Okay. Did you serve in it? No, my mother did. Succubi generally tempts mortals to bring their spirits to the Abyss to create more Tanari to die in the Blood War. Your mother, she served? Yeah, she was among the finest, seducing countless mortal men. She now dwells in the Abyss, selling her children into slavery. Selling her children into slavery. Hold up. For a time, I won my freedom in a contest of improvisation. It was a very long time ago. Who did she sell you to? She told me to the Betezu. I think she rather expected that they would kill me. Despite her knowledge of other subjects, she knows little of their culture. She sold you to the Tenari's sworn enemies. Yeah? Was there anything else you wish to know? Wow, she's just so blasé about it. Like, yeah, I got sold into slavery with my race's arch enemies. Yeah. Goodness. Right. Let's see. Are these questions bothering you? Oh no, not at all. It's best that you know this. The Blood War underlies most events in the plains. It's important to understand what it is and why it is taking place. Wow. Okay. Other questions. Let's see. Can I read your diary? No. I like to hear your past. Can you tell me what you know of Ravel? Okay. Right. Wow.
All right.
All right. Let's go do something different. Let's go and find the ex of Dolores.
It's good to be journeying again. The brothel was a learning experience, but I think it was time I moved on.
I'm happy that
All
we
right.
can get a little bit of voice dialogue. Okay, right. Now, if memory serves, we want to go to the Civic Fest Hall. Ooh, an old poet. I don't want to heckle the poet. Sarhava's toady. Sahava visual. Who are you? The smell of alcohol wafts heavily from this young woman, and despite her dark skin, you can see that her face, beautiful but cruel looking, is flushed. She is slender and well muscled, adorned in exotic jewellery and translucent silk clothing. Numerous scars crisscross her thighs and forearms. They look to be battle wounds. Hello. Well, well, what have we here? A little tiefling gutter queen? Come crawling out of the hive? The woman pouts, talking as one would to a small child. Are you lost, little tiefling? Oh look, it has a tail. How cute. Anna flushes, and with a snarl, blades sprout from her fist. Now, Fiendkin, don't do that. The swoon seems unconcerned as Anna draws her weapons and clucks disapprovingly with her tongue. Careful now, or I'll remove that tail and feed it to my dogs. Young Sarhava Yule, could it be you? The woman appears confused for a moment, then recognizes Fall from Grace. She seems startled and abashed. Mistress Grace, I had not noticed you. Only shamefully do I admit this, for your noble appearance would be obvious to even a dullard. Let Grace continue to speak. Fall from Grace gives the barest of nods. Your words are most skillfully chosen, unlike those heard so recently. She seems shamed. Yes, mistress, I regret that such words were spoken in your presence. I regret that they were spoken at all. Her tone barely changes, but a subtle reprimand seems to crack the young woman's face like a whip. It pains to see an old student of mine behaving so. She frowns and regains her composure. In any event, mistress, what brings you out of the establishment? Some errand? These are my companions that I travel with. I would expect the same courtesy given to them as you have given to me. Such is a hallmark of the responsibility of those noble-born. Anna glares at Grace and Sarhava furiously. Sarhava bows low. Then allow me to excuse myself with an apology, Mistress Grace, to you and your companions. My words were ill-chosen. 'Tis the drink that caused me to speak such rubbish, and I am filled with shame for having belittled myself so before the teacher of old. She bows, turns, and leaves. Well, what a horrible, horrible person. Salabesh the Onyx. Okay, we'll talk to you before heading in. This tall, thin man, dressed in heavy crimson robes, has sharp, pinched features. He bows regally as you approach him. I am Salabesh, oft called Salabesh the Onyx. Future mage tutor for the Civic Festival. You've business with me, I take it? No, just some questions. About what? Not the ward and the like, I hope. Plenty of the more common folk to answer those questions, and I just as soon direct you to one. Well, why are you called the Onyx? A long tale which I'll shorten to save my breath. In my youth, I was once called Salabesh the Golden, for I was said to have a heart of gold, small, hard, and yellow. Well, I cursed the fool who started that, so that they could only speak from his arse and defecate through his mouth. The Onyx appellation, along with the same lines as the Golden, though admittedly somewhat less clever, soon followed. In any case, I'm a much kinder fellow now, far less prone to laying curses and the like. I'm not certain if I deserve the name any longer. Hold up. You cursed him to do what? Oh yes, you heard right. Salvish sighs happily and chuckles himself. That sort of thing is why I'm known as the Master of Curses, you know. Well, I had another question. Do you know of a cursed man called Reekwind? Salabesh's eyebrows suddenly dart up. Oh yes, Jumble murder sense cursed that man. If I recall correctly, why, seeking to get his curse undone? Good luck, only Jumble can do that. Well, where would I find Jumble? Within the Civic Fest Hall, I suppose. A short, portly fellow with a leering smile. Never speaks, so you'll be hard-pressed to find anything out of him. Okay. What did you mean by future
Updated my
mage
journal.
tutor of Fest Hall? It's a prestigious position. To be an official tutor in one of the Fest Hall's training chambers, it's my intention to one day take the position of mage's tutor. But the title's currently in possession of the Lady Thorncombe. If only I could somehow prove that I'd be a superior tutor. Okay, well,
Done.
that's good to know. We have learned a little bit more about poor Reekwind and seeing if we can cure his curse.
Through observation, sensation, and experience, the truth of the multiverse shall be revealed.
Ooh, nice music. Right. I actually really do like this music. Splinter, Jomi, and Merton the Headless. Well, we'll get to you, Merton, in a moment. This towering man's golden skin sparkles slightly, almost as if it were metallic. Whether it's his actual flesh or merely painted on, you cannot tell. He regards you coolly as you approach, giving a respectful bow as you draw near. Welcome to the Civic Fest Hall, traveller. We are Splinter, doorman to the Fest Hall and Priest King of Ur. How may we help you? Despite his humble offer of aid, his voice is powerful and commanding, a deep and rumbling sound that resonates through the chamber. Okay, how? We do many things in this fine hall, traveller. We answer questions guests might have regarding it or its inhabitants. We direct both visitors and members of the Society of Sensation alike to the sensoriums or lecture halls. We also accept new members into the Society. Lastly, it is through us that purchases from the Society's vaults are made, spells and such. Ooh. Can you show me the sensorium? There are two. The public, where visitors may use the sensory stones for anywhere between 10 and 50 commons, and the private, where only members of the Society of Sensation are allowed. You can reach neither of them yourselves, we must take you there. Oh. How do I get the private ones? You must be a member of the Society of Sensation. How do I become one? In order to join the Society of Sensation, must be willing and prepared to share their own experiences. 5 are required, 1 from each of the senses. Alternately, one may contribute a single experience that has strong elements from all 5 senses. There must be either new sensations or improvements upon our current stock. Should we find them acceptable, they will be placed into sensory stones, and you, having become a sensate, will be taught the sensory touch. It will allow you to draw others' wounds onto yourself, healing them by accepting their suffering. I have other questions. I don't want to be a sensate yet. There's someone I was looking for here. Let's see. Oh goodness, there's a lot of stuff. Mistress Jolmi of the House Sirma. Jolmi has taken to waiting about in this very chamber of late. We think she's looking for Satan to someone. In any case, she should be nearby. Thanks, I've got another question. What about Merriman? Merriman is usually pacing back and forth around the lecture halls. Travel through the middle door in the eastern wall, and the door beyond that as well. He will likely be wandering within the hallway you find yourself in. Okay. And the final one, Montague. Montague is a busy young man. He can usually be found moving between the chamber and 3 that lie along its eastern wall. Okay. Oh, well, there's Yolmi. A stern-looking older woman seems to be looking for someone. Her eyes fix upon you as you approach her. You there? Might I have a word with you? Yes, you're Yolmi. I spoke to your
Updated
messenger.
my journal.
Ah, yes, because when we appeared here, messenger ran in, and I was like, no, I'm looking for a friend. I am pleased to meet you then. She gives a slight bow. I would make you a somewhat unusual proposal, though you must admit you are an unusual man. I will give you 1,000 copper commons for your permission to kill you. Are you open to discussion on the matter? But why? Jomi doesn't bat an eyelash, but why not? I thought it might be an interesting experience, paying someone for the privilege of murdering them. When I first heard rumours of your existence, how could I resist? So what is your answer? Shall we discuss the matter in greater detail? One moment, where did you hear these rumours? One hears all sorts around the fest hall. How could one not eventually hear of a man like you? Again I ask, will you consider my proposal? Well, let's work out the details. After a short discussion, it comes down to the following terms. Xiaomi will pay you 1,500 copper commons. In return, you will allow her to drive her dagger into your heart. She will wait for you to awaken, at which point she will give you the coin. Hold up, it was 1,000, now it's 1,500. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea at all. No, I don't think so. Farewell. We're not. I don't want to get killed. Let's see. Yeah, thankfully it's not a quest. That's good.
Done.
Right. Bonk. Oh, there you go. Mertwin the Headless that has a head. It's clear there's something very wrong with this man, the way he lurches about, bumping into things, staring off blankly into space. As you approach him, you realise his plight. He's headless. The thing on his shoulders is merely a skillfully carved wooden prosthesis. A false head. Greetings? The headless body stops fumbling for a moment and pauses. Its hands begin to reach out as if trying to feel exactly where you are. Well, let's touch it. After a moment, its finger brushes its forearm. It clutches your arm and follows you up to the shoulder, then your head. As it feels your face and head, its hands brush your neck, as if it were checking for something. Finally, it grabs your hand and shakes vigorously in greeting. You notice that its skin is cold and slightly clammy. Can you understand me? The figure makes a series of hand motions, then waits for a response. It seems as if it's asking a question. Huh? The headless body taps its foot for a moment, scratching at the chin of its prosthetic head. Suddenly, it raises a finger as if struck by an idea. It points to you, then at the eyes of its wooden head, then at you again. It then indicates its wooden head with both hands, shrugs, and points at you. No, I haven't seen your head anywhere. This headless body shrugs, slumps a bit, and turns to amble off. Oh, okay, well, fair enough. We should look for the poor thing's head. In other cases, we should go along... Oh, Montague! Hello, Montague. You're one of the people I'm looking for. This handsome young man seems lost in thought, his brow furrowed, and a slight frown upon his lips. And to thee, Sir, hail, what dost thou wish of me? Are you Montague? I need to speak with you about Juliet. Oh? He gives you a puzzled, slightly suspicious look. I overheard her speaking at the brothel. She's having an affair, you know. Thou speak falsely. I would have thee present me proof before I took. We'll speak of it later. Okay, so I need to get the love letters then. So we'll head back. Ooh, what's this? Ho ho! Gladly, I will happily take a new spell. Force missiles. Oh, let's see. Level 4. Good, I didn't have any spell for there. Like the magic missile, this spell creates a magical globe of magical energy. A mystical globe of magical energy. I need to get that accurate. Which will successfully hit its target for 2 to 8 points of damage, regardless of saving throw. It then explodes, does 1 point of damage per level of the caster within 3 feet. If a saving throw is made, then this concussive damage is negated. The wizard creates 1 missile at 7th, plus an additional missile every 2nd level after 7. Okay, so that's fair. Right, and... Sweet. That's a nice spell to have. Okay, east. I think this is the east wall. There is nothing hidden behind the bars which adorn the face of this pillar. Oh, Gerbil Murder Sense! The short, balding man's orange tunic and rather sizable gut give him the look of a walking pumpkin. He's absent-mindedly patting at his large paunch with a slow rhythm, as if it were a drum. The man's odd, crooked smile and strange gleam in his eyes make him look a bit mad. Hello? The man gives an exaggerated, flourishing bow and presents a small card which reads only, Jumble Murder Sense. Oh, Chaos Sorcerer Extraordinaire. He then snatches the card from your grasp and proceeds to eat it, grinning wildly all the time. Somewhere, an asylum is one barmy short. I'd like you to remove Requin's curse. Jumble pretends not to hear you, instead belching loudly and resuming his belly drumming, his eyes wandering around the fest hall. Is there anything I could do so that you'd remove Requin's curse? Jumble won't look at you, but shakes his head. I don't want to threaten. He's a very powerful person. I worry what he'll do to me. Warrior in training. Barrier. Oh god, there's so many people in here.
I'm gone.
Let's just talk to a single warrior. Okay, I can't. Let's talk to the centaur. No, okay, that's fair.
All right.
Oh, who are you? 3 planes aligned. Thin and sharp-featured, his yellow skin covered with tattoos, this man looks over the room and its inhabitants with cold black eyes. He appears to be giving a lecture. Well, let's stay. I am known as 3 planes aligned, a Getheri scholar. If you are here for my lecture, it begins in a few moments. Come on, Chief, are we really going to stay for this? One more, I want to listen for now. He speaks in a low, somber tone. Shall I speak of the power of alignment and belief, and how they shape the planes? First, I shall explain the concept of alignment. Alignment is a descriptor of one's beliefs and how one acts upon these beliefs. At their core, all creatures predominantly behave in one of 3 ways, with good in the heart, with evil in the heart, or indifference, or neutrality in their heart. They predominantly express each of these core behaviors in one of 3 different ways, in an ordered manner, in a chaotic manner, or in an indifferent, neutral manner. Thus, there are 9 core alignments that one is capable of. The 9 alignments then are lawful good. Now I shall speak of the power of alignment and the beliefs it engenders, of how the very deities gain strength, and how belief can physically affect one's environment. A deity must have worshippers, for it is the faith of the subjects which gives them power. As converts are made and more come to believe in a god, the power of that god, the more the god receives. Conversely, when no one believes in a deity, it withers and dies, joining the corpses of other gods that float in the astral plane. It is thus possible to slay a deity by simply forgetting about them. A much more striking example of the power of alignment and belief, however, can be seen from the sliding of gate towns. First, though, I would define gate towns. Gate towns are towns in the outlands that largely neutral area which sigil spins over the centre of. They are called gate towns because they are built around a permanent gate or portal to one of the outer planes. Each of these outer planes has its own alignment. The Abyss is chaotic and evil, Bator is lawful and evil, Mechanus is lawful neutral, Mount Celestia is lawful and good. The outlands again are true neutral, leaning neither law or chaos. Sliding occurs when there is a high concentration of belief in an area, of differing belief. When this occurs, the area will move or slide to a plane that matches its new belief. Now, the gate towns are usually a strong belief that matches the outer plane, but the belief is not yet strong enough for the town to slide from the outlands to the inner plane. For example, the town of Ribcage borders the portal that is lawful evil plane of Bator. As expected, the residents of Ribcage are largely lawful evil residents, but the entire town's alignment and beliefs are not strong enough so that Ribcage will slide into Bator. For example, Ribcage might one day see a sudden rise of lawful evil order of clerics promoting their dark beliefs and converting many citizens to the worship of their lawful evil god. Were this to occur, there would be a good chance that the town would slide out off the neutral outlands, becoming part of the lawful evil plane of Bator. Whole layers of planes may move this way, thus many wars are wars of belief and faith by necessity. They are the tools by which territory is obtained and held. This is the power of alignment and belief to shape planes. The session has ended. May belief. Okay.
I'm gone.
So we learned a little bit about the planes. What's in this one? More warriors in training? Oh, thieves in training. Is this the mage in training room then? Yeah, let's see. Can you teach me anything? Nah, okay. Well, they all fizzled. Death's Advocate. He's got a lot of people around him. Sigillings, welcome. Please take your seats and listen to the darks of which I speak. Darks, give me a break. We're really going to listen to this rattle trap, are we? Come on, let's go find some sensate chits that have never had the pleasurous sensation of tasting the fiery passion of a skull's lips. He waggles his eyes. Kite down, Mort. We're staying for a while at least. He begins speaking this order. Death, it is what awaits at the end of life's journey. He coughs slightly, then raises his eyebrows dramatically, waving his hand at the same time. Death is not an end, but a beginning. Beginning of a more suffering. Nod to Mort quietly. For when you die, you shall not cease to exist. No, far from it. The outer planes shall welcome you to their breasts. There are new life, one such as you have never known awaits you there. That's for sure. Mort, be quiet. You shall cast away the tattered cloaks of this life and become one of the faithful, a petitioner. As a petitioner on this outer plane, your life's journey shall truly begin. If you have been a goodly sort of gentleman, steadfast in charity and goodwill towards your fellow bloods, perhaps the light blanketed slopes of Mount Celestia shall house you when you die. Your spirit shall pass on to this place, dwelling as a petitioner in the beauty of golden mornings, soft sunlight that caresses. He sighs dreamily. And eternal boredom. Please, Mort, quiet. Perhaps you've lived life to betray others and get ahead, giving lies instead of truth, backstabbing others, all to accomplish your own goals. Cold, blood-red Car City, the plane where all turncoats fall when they pass on, shall be the cage that imprisons you. As a petitioner of this plane, you shall have a life of treachery and treacheries, of lies and lying, knowing a life without trust. Looks like we know where we both are going to end up when we die. Mort, stop talking. He hunches over, his eyes dart back and forth, and perhaps you have lived a life of bloodthirsty evil, contemptuous of your fellow man, laying others low, and doing so as you please without a care for who you hurt. Then it is perhaps one of the lower planes, Bator, or the chaotic, swirling layers of the abyss that shall welcome you. Evil to the core are the spirits that come to this plane, and most are doomed to mindless cruelty, suffering the servitude and the dreaded blood war. And that's, if you're lucky, that's enough. Mort, no matter where you go, know this, you shall be embarking on a new life, my sigillance. And that's supposed to be an incentive? We get to do this all again? Gee, I can't wait to be a floating skull all over again. Wee, pike him, what a tard, spoken like someone who hasn't died before, eh? Come on, Mort, quiet. You shall be able to start anew without the burden of memory or your past life. Your sole goal, if you will, he smiles at his own humour, is to merge with the new plane that you are on, becoming one with the ideals and the very substance of the plane itself. You shall be one of the inhabitants, the petitioners of this plane, ideally one of the building blocks upon which the plane is built. It is the goal of all petitioners to accomplish this goal. You, he claps his hands together for emphasis, must you must hold to your ideals. Oh, this is one big steaming ode. Mort, shush. Your ideals, good or evil, law or chaos, are somewhere in between. As you approach your alignment on the plane, your journey will end as you become part of the plane itself. 'Tis a glorious existence. And that is what awaits you after death, my audience. Have a care. Okay. What wash? The speaker's head turns to face Mort, frowning slightly. He leans out, trying to see who spoke. A question? A question from one of the living, perhaps? Mort ducks below the lecturer's field of view, who turns to you and whispers, "Go ahead, Chief, tell him the dark of it." Yes, I've got a question. Let's see. The dustmen say that this life is where we end up when we die. The speaker chuckles derisively. Some members of the audience chuckle as well. These are countless petitioners, my friend, dustmen among them. Who would disagree with dustman philosophy? Okay. Oh no, I'm not gonna drop dead and re-elect. No. What if someone can't die? He laughs. Nonsense. Everyone dies. But suppose that someone can't. Well then, based on what I've said, he would never reach the outer planes and become a petitioner. Okay, well that's fine. That's all I want to know. If there are no more questions, then I shall take my leave. For now, I shall continue to lecture here at the hall, and perhaps in years hence, I shall meet you as a petitioner beyond death's door. Ugh.
All right.
I could definitely relate with Mort on that one. That was just dull and dreary. Merriman. Oh, there you go. There's the one I'm looking for. This man looks like a bitter, cantankerous old codger. His mouth is twisted into a frown that becomes even more severe as he notices you coming his way. Merriman my name may be, but merry I am not. Off with you, young one. No time for the likes of you. He goes into a fit of coughing with the exertion of shooing you away so loudly. Wait, Delora wants me to speak with you. Merriman eyes you suspiciously. That's so. About what, huh? She says that you're her first love, and that so long as you hold the keys to her heart, she'll never be free to love another. She told you that, eh? I'm surprised. Perhaps leaving her under Mistress Grace's tutelage did what I couldn't. Started to develop her feelings. In any case, he passed the spot in his tunic. I won't just give the keys away. Wait, there are literally keys to her heart. You know, that they are. Delora's a construct. Didn't you know that? A creature of sorcery and clockwork mechanics she is, and one of my finest creations. But cold, without emotion or character. I brought her to the brothel and set her so that she could not leave, in the hopes that the constant contact with so many others would begin to develop her own personality. The keys are the tools that used to set her. she wants them because she feels they are limiting her personal growth now, I suspect, then why don't you just return them? Because I've become a cruel and bitter old man who sees he cannot get something out of you. Okay, well, what do you want? I want to forget. I've lived almost 150 years now, and I've seen every sensory stone I've cared to in this grand hall. I've little time left, and I am too weak to go out and search for wholly new experiences. So I need to find a way to forget them all. That way, I can start again in my final days. Well, how?
Updated my journal.
I'll need something, some item, some concoction that will allow me to forget, like a draft of the river Styx, something like that. Okay. Not asking for much then, are you? Dormitories, mage. Oh, what? What's in this room? Don't like that murder sense. Oh, there's Montague again. Quisai. Quisai, what do you want? This is a life-size granite statue of a gentleman, standing with his arms at his sides, eyes closed. It is of excellent craftsmanship, exquisitely detailed, and incredibly lifelike. So much so, in fact, that you find yourself wondering if it's really a statue at all. Greetings? Statue makes no response. Chief, you've seen statues before, right? Know that they don't talk to anything. Consider this more. You're a floating, talking skull who's denying the possibility of a living statue. Oh, you got me there. That I do more. I'll just touch him. You touch the statue and find that while the clothes that adorn it are a grey colour rather than rock, the skin is as cool and hard as granite. Huh. Why would someone clothe a statue? Maybe it's a little too anatomically correct. It was a rhetorical question. Sure, boss. I knew that. I have a Gorgon salve. I wonder. Can I? Oh, nope. I was hoping that maybe I could convert it, but I'm curious what happens if I strike it. As you make to strike the statue, its eyes flash open and it catches your fist in an iron-hard grip, narrowing its cold grey eyes. It speaks with a voice like two boulders grinding together. Why would you strike Quisai? Forgive me, I only meant to see if you were truly a statue. He nods slowly, frowning. You are forgiven. However, one feels you are lacking patience. Well, let's go some other questions. The statue... Hello? Let's wait for a response. There's no response. You sense that Quisai may be tasting your fish. Well, let's keep on waiting. There's still... Oh, let's keep on waiting. The statue's eyes opens. He gazes at you with cold grey eyes. He speaks ponderously, with a voice like two boulders grinding together. Your patience is noted. Quisai would speak with you now. I have a question about you. What is it that you were meditating on when I first found you? The Way of Stone. A philosophy, a method of combat. With it, Quisai seeks to achieve invulnerability. Yes. Now, the way is not yet perfect. Quisai will make it so one day, and Quisai will know this. Can you tell me what you've discovered so far? No one has asked Quisai to share his knowledge of the way. Quisai shall do this now. He begins to speak at length, slowly and carefully. Well, let's learn the Way of Stone. Journal. After hours of listening and many, many questions, I have permanently increased or improved my armor. Hey! In combat, you will use it to resist and deflect your enemy's blows, improving. I've got other questions. I have the questions about this place. Okay, other questions. Have you heard of Ravel? Nothing. Okay, there we go. Cool, I'm happy that you could teach me the way of being tougher. I feel I like this area. I need to turn down the music. It's just so loud. Geisis the Crooked. This squat, hunched old man still has broad shoulders and scarred, calloused hands of a worker or warrior. An aura of weary despair seems to hang about him. He appears to be giving a lecture at the moment. Right, now listen up. This is a seminar on the war. If you're here to listen about the blood war, take root. If you're not, you're in the wrong all, and you'd best bump your soft, comfort-loving, sigilline lumber stumps out of here. The Blood War. More boring than listening to a governor recite laws. Let's find some young sensates indoctrinated in the ways. No, Mort, I want to hear this. The man suddenly throws a dark eye over the audience as if looking for something. And further, if you Tanari or Batezu, your scaly eyes out the door. It's no letting you ordinary bastards burn an ear to this and listen to your barmy arguments. Because there's no discussion on who's right. Behind you, you hear the sounds of something large and leaving the lecture hall. It just tells the blood war from the human point of view. It's no promoting one side or the other, because they both stink in different ways. The speaker becomes somber. So, what's left of you wanting to listen to some blood war stories? Tales of the war? Ear to hear the horror of it all. No doubt, the floating fortresses wove and weave no human skin. The plains wide battlegrounds the blood war be fought on. He bares his yellow teeth. Tales of fiends locking fangs with one other fiends. Grah, snarl! His snarl fades and he looks suddenly bored. Well, let me peel back your lids and crack your bone boxes. The stall steaming heap of barmaid nonsense to be dwelling on that forged dung. He spits in derision, rolling his eyes wildly. I'll tell you this, though. You can't imagine the scale the blood war is fought on. Nothing you've seen or heard or participated in. Nothing compares. Time, numbers, or legions, pure bloodshed, nothing compares, Burks, to try and imagine it. Forget it. My advice simple. Stay away from the bloody mess altogether. The only thing you need to know is this. Fiends are killing fiends. Batezu are slaughtering Tanari. Tanari are butchering Batezu right now. He spits again. Neither's winning. Don't think either can win. Biggest stalemate this side of eternity. Thank the powers. That's it. That's it. I'll be answering any questions you got for me. So you'll tell us no tales of the Blood War? Alright, 1. Let me give you an example of what meat means to them. They'll get some mean-spirited morsel mercenaries together, maybe a drop of a few million strong, and let them slaughter each other for no real reason at all. A pointless battle over some powers-forsaken piece of land. Guess where all those souls go? Where? Their souls sink to the plains of evil and they fight on, where they can be ripped from the soup of the plain and set to fight again as lemurs or mains or whatever these pike and sod, those little fiendish dung heaps become. The more those sodden petitioners they get, the more troops they have. Okay, let's see. How does one survive it? You want to know how to survive the Blood War. 3 things, Cutter. He holds up a maimed hand with only 2 fingers. First off, you stay the pike out of it. Secondly, keep yourself with the pike and hells out of it. And lastly, you stay the bloody pike and sword pike out of it. Go on. If any part of the war that rolls your way, let your imaginative give your bum a kick and run as far and as fast as you can. If you can't run, then lies really still and pray it passes you by. He pauses for a moment. Except there's no place if you don't touch, and there's almost nowhere you can run to get away from it. If there's nowhere to run, why aren't the fiends fighting in Sigil? Oh, now Cutter, look. They have fought here a few times. Sometimes we get a little spillover from the Blood War. Our Lady of Pain, bless her steel-ridden heart, puts the fires out. Some of the time. There's been times, some horrifying drizzle in yourself, your so sodden scared times, when they've smashed and burnt and clawed their way through whole sodden city blocks in Sigil before she decides to clean house. He clicks his tongue and winks cynically. So she ain't always as keen on stopping the Blood War as might seem, eh? Why don't the Friends just take Sigil? He laughs, but it turns to a sputtering cough. Don't get me wrong now, both the Tanari and the Batsu want Sigil fierce. It is the most precious staging ground in the Pike and multiverse. The cage is the city of doors that connects everywhere. You can't ignore it, and if you're serving the Blood War, you want to win, you gotta have it. The man coughs again. 'Tis just the fiends aren't going to get it while the lady's in charge, 'tis all. She's tough as nails. Her blades will cut you deeper than any fiend's fang, and the knots the fiend's stems like you wouldn't believe. One quiet lady, her lands tucked in her sleeves, holding back the Blood War all by herself. I don't find it hard to believe that a woman can stop the Blood War, but fiends are still allowed in Sigil? Oh, damnably certain. They can't brawl in the streets too much, such as neutral ground. Sigil allows them to rattle their bone boxes without trying to murder each other. Sometimes they'll chat it up with each other here. The peace don't stay that way for long though. Also, just because they can't butcher each other on the streets don't mean spies, recruitment and backstabbing don't still go on here. They fight battles and lies and words. Burk. Sometimes 'tis all in the bluster and blather, and there's safe houses about too, places where they can cool their talons for the next skirmish. And they like to recruit here too, looking for boys fresh off the plains with a little greed in their hearts that can be part of a glorious army. He stopped speaking and peered closely. Mayhap they recruited you once, eh, Carter? You look like you've tasted the war. Well, perhaps. The war leaves a scar on you, Carter. You'd know, and you'd never want to go back. Your temples begin to throb painfully as you consider the man's word. A memory begins to surface. Yes! I'm happy that, of course, talking to these lectures gets something. The lecture hall begins to fade from view as terrible visions begin to seep up from the base of your mind. Visions of a place where seasons are like nothing you've ever felt or held or tried to shut out. A place where prayers or go unheard, falling like stones in the earth. Vein-coloured lightning flashes across what was once sky, but now boil beneath your feet and scream when you rush against them. You run to the head of the large band of men passing through the dark canyons where the walls quiver moistly and beats like a heart, wearing only your own blood as clothing. At last you stand in a place where the ashen grey terrain slithers like a mass of snakes, coiling around your ankles and whispering your evil to the earth. You march endlessly, silently, through the colourless land where fatigue seems to live and hunt you like a shade over the wastes, whipping you with despair. In time, you and the ragged men who follow you come upon a hag sitting on a mound of gigantic writhing larvae. Poking at one of the slime-covered things with a broken talon, you indicate for one of the men to run forward to speak with her. The hag's grating voice carries to your ears. I would speak with him, she said, then cackled. Her eyes gleam as she points you out to the man, the handsome one that leads your ragged column. I would speak to him. And that is all you can recall. Cutter, you feeling alright there? Yes, I'm fine. So do the fiends recruit often? He nods grimly. You can be sure of that. Sigil's the best source of fodder in the plains, beats milking planets of all their prime inhabitants. Too much work. So, any more advice on surviving? Aye, whatever you do, don't talk about the blood war with any fiend, or any Deva, or Archon for that matter. Just don't talk about it, periods, because you never know who in the hells you're really chatting with. And all of them get mighty touchy when you bring up the war. It's their reason for living. Anything else? Don't go through any portal unless you're piking sure where it goes. Maybe you haven't heard tales of clueless planewalkers stepping through a portal and ending up smack dab in the middle of the blood war skirmish. Know why you haven't heard of them? Because the sods are dead, dead, dead. And whatever you does, never sign for a tour of duty, no matter how much jink they get flash in your mug. Certain death and signing on for a tour in the blood war are the same thing, Cutter. Why? Chances are when you sign up, they peel you so your tour of duty is still time itself grinds to a halt. Even death wouldn't be a release, because then you sinks into the lower planes and get dredged back up as something worse than you were before. Then they got their talons in you for all eternity. How would you get out of a tour contract? Unless they don't want you, you don't have much chance. I never heard of it being done with mean-spirited recruits or somebody they really wanted to keep their talons on, outright in a Tenari is risky, but can be done. The Betezu are much more dangerous with their contracts. You sign one of those, you're damned for life. You might try a little garnish to try and daub them, and they might let you make a run for it, but where would you go? There's so many hells. And dying in a blood war would be an especially bad thing. If you were evil, sure. If you're good, you'd go to another plane to spend your lifetime, but you'd still be a deader. Now, for me, I still got a lot of evil to wash from me soul. So I died in the lower planes, they would have had me back stock and barrel. You go to another plane when you die? Go talk to the death lecturer. Okay, I've got no more questions. Right, this is the last bit. Some of you are sensate, so's I got one thing to say to you. Don't sign up to see what the Pike and Blood War is about. Don't be a barmy idiot. Use a Sensory Stone if you got to know. But stay the hells away from anything to do with the Blood War for real. 'Tis just not worth it. 'Tis. For a moment, with a look of great pain crossed the man's face. It looks as if he's going to weep. Not worth it at all. That's the end of this session. And you gave me some experience points, which is lovely.
I'm gone.
Okay, right. Splinter. Take me. How can you help me? Can you show me to the sensoriums? Can you take me to the public one?
All right.
Right, what have we got here? Sensate guides. Well, I want to have a look straight into the rooms. What's this? Right, okay, we'll just take the nameless one.
Done.
There we go. What have we got here? This is unusual greenish yellow stone. It's securely fastened. Oh, maybe I need to talk to the guides then. Go on. The man's gentle voice is saying, "Greetings, are you here to use one of the sensory stones?" Yes. There are currently more than a dozen standard sensations available, as well as 6 more extravagant experiences. The use of a standard stone is 10 copper commons. The more involved ones will cost 50 coppers. Would you care to hear the standard or the extravagant sensations? The standard. Oh, the man smiles and explains some various sensations that were currently available to your perusal. The unavoidable pain. Good. The stone shall wait use in one of the smaller chambers. The one room clockwise from the stairwell. Okay. Let's begin. The experience is a short and violent one, struggling with another slightly stronger man on the edge of a blazing hot stream of molten lava. Your weapon hand is slowly, inexorably being forced ever closer to the magma. Beads of sweat evaporate the instant they appear. The hair on the back of your hand blackens and smolders above the awesome heat. Finally, your howls of suffering echo from the canyon walls around you. Your hand in the axe it holds plunges into the lava and chars to ash within a few agonizing seconds. Neat. The experience seems to have stirred some long-forgotten, vaguely similar memory from your mind. You feel as though you've gained something from your sensory stone. Okay, cool. Next, I'd like another session. The standard. Tender love. One of the smallest. This is the second one. Okay. The slight blue stone is the one that the cleric directed you towards. Okay. You press your eyes closed and you can sense yourself standing in the tips of your toes, pressed against someone tightly. Soft lips brush against yours, giving you the most gentle of kisses. Your heart seems to flutter in your chest and you feel as if you could fall backwards and simply float off into space. The experience seems to have stirred some long-forgotten, vaguely similar memory. Ah, neat. This is a good way of getting some just quick experience points. Well, I need 25,000 and I don't know if I've got that many small sensations. Right, the standard... The mind-numbing tedium. We'll see what mind-numbing tedium does. Yep, that's this one. The experience couldn't be more than a few minutes long, but hours seemed to pass. A long, boring lecture of the driest, dustiest hall in the University of Charm and Sigil. You look about the vast hall, hoping to catch someone's eye to pull a face at, but the other students are either asleep or staring listlessly into space. You drop your quill pen, pick it up and drop again, just for something to do. You consider stabbing yourself in the eye with it, just to see if your senses haven't been wholly numbed by the incredible boredom. The experience seems to have stirred something. I was horribly bored in a previous life. I'd like another session, please. Standard. Sheer wonder. Right. Sheer wonder. Let's go. This greenish yellow stone is the one that the cleric directs you towards. Within it lies the experience, sheer wonder. Hesitantly, you open your mouth and take a shallow breath, and water flows into your lungs like cool air. You smile and take a deep breath, gawking in all directions as you slowly sink to the bottom of the harbour, where hundreds of colourful fish weave through twisting tracks of brilliant coral. As your feet touch bottom, you peer up at the keel of your ship and laugh aloud with joy, a string of great bubbles shooting up towards the surface. Hey, I know this experience. Makes you wonder if it's triggering memories, these are my memories that I've like sold in the past. Let's see, sheer wonder. Consuming impatience. I think I'll use this one because this is the next run round. The reddish orange stone is the one that the cleric directs you towards. Yep. You stand debating with Amnes the horribly slow, keeper of the Lion Key, as to whether or not your quest is important enough for him to relinquish the artifact into your care. The whole experience is an exercise in sheer torment. Each and every one of his words is followed by a significant pause. Each and every point he makes is reiterated time and again. Before he lets you speak, you present an argument, then wait, and wait, and wait. While he makes his counterpoint, to which you shoot out a snappy counterpoint of your own, then must wait yet again for another of Amnest's drawling, meandering, seemingly endless counterpoints. It's everything you can do not to simply lop the fiend's tusked head off and snatch the key from the twitching corpse. Well, stir yourself from the experience. Oh look, it's something that's triggered a memory. I'm happy to pay a little bit of money for XP. I'll have another session. The standard. The Tired Surrender. A good choice. Thank you. I think... Oh, how do I get... There we go. This is a Violet Stone. Shuddering, chattering, hoping beyond hope to be found, you curl into yourself beneath a blanket of snow to save what little warmth you have left. Fighting to keep your eyes open to remain awake, you become aware that you can no longer feel your arms, your legs, the ice against your face, and tired, so tired. You at last resign yourself to the inevitable. You close your eyes, bidding sleep a bitter welcome as the sense of loss forces a single tear, doomed to crystallize before it even reaches your cheek from your aching eyes. Neat. Just some sense. Ooh, Lady Thornco. I think I needed to talk to you. This comely middle-aged woman is wandering about dreamily, absent-mindedly chewing on her thumbnail. Her eyes seem focused on nothing in particular. She is dressed in elegant yet dishevelled finery, and her hair is slightly tousled. Hello. She takes out a thumb from her mouth, smoothing back a strand of hair that had fallen in front of her eyes. I wish to talk about you. As you begin to ask your question, you realize she's not looking at you, let alone paying any attention to you. Hello? Very well. What is it you wish? I had a question about you. Okay. About this place? Okay, never mind. Bye. She doesn't care about us. Fair enough. So rude. I'd like another session. Let's go for something extravagant. Oh, wow. Horrible regret. 3 rooms counterclockwise from the stairwell. It's a reddish orange in colour. Okay, 1, 2, 3. This one? Yep, begin. You stand on the deck of your flagship, the Divine Hammer, as it floats over the continents of Agaraim, held aloft by the winds of magic. The very landscape roils and shudders beneath the bombardment of your fleet. 1,000 ships' cannons and bombards hurling their sorcerous fire down like vengeful gods. The shockwaves begin to hit your ship only minutes ago. A constant vibration that sends shudders through the whole of the ancient craft and moves your very bones. Accompanied by a constant rumbling bass as the land's mountains begin to sink and the seas that surround it begin to boil off into the atmosphere, your first officer comes to stand before you. My Lord Admiral, permission to speak freely. You nod your acquiescence, your stomach sinking as you guess his question. My lord, forgive me, but how? What gives us the right? 1 billion lives. You speak without turning to him, unable to take your eyes off Rumos, the nation's vast capital city, as it vaporizes into a cloud of superheated glasses 12 miles across and growing ever wider. If you only knew the full treachery of the Agarites' first officer film, one which is beyond any man's comprehension, then you would know. You would speak of a right to annihilate them. We've no right to let them live. But sir, traitors? All of them? Surely among the hundreds of thousands, how many innocents? Silence! Speak of it no more. Our king has spoken. His will be done. The task is set to us is a horrible one, not fit for a contemplation or questioning. There is no room for piety, no room for pity, no room for remorse, only duty. The two of you stand silently for a time, watching the last minutes of Agerheim. At long last you sigh, a low, stuttering exhalation that sounds as if something has broken inside you. Beneath the brazen plate that covers the ruined half of your face, your dead eye begins to weep. Falm, my friend, I would have you understand, I know now, as I look down at what I have wrought here, that were I to think upon what I have done, what I have truly done, I would be struck mad. A deed such as this, the anguish would overwhelm, destroy me. So First Officer Falm, it must be that there are no innocents in Agerheim. No mothers, no children, no people, only traitors. Vile, cunning traitors who deserve no less than the full brunt of our most holy king's wrath. Do you understand this? Yes, my lord. Good, now go, I wish to be alone. By your command, Lord Admiral. Falm bows his head and returns below deck, leaving you to stand over at the end of a civilization. Neat, 1500. What's next? Another session, please. The Extravagant. Shock and a rise to seething vengefulness. 2 rooms counterclockwise. This violet stone is what you're looking for. You stand somewhere in the nether regions of the plains, a sweltering place where the ground is beaten copper and the skies of brass. Here the bodies of sinners, petitioners in this horrid place are rolled against the iron brambles and bronze scorpions until the bones are fine, grey dust. You squint at the horizon, the bone dust rising with putrid smelling gusts of wind that carry with them the sound of agonized moaning. There is nothing but flat, metallic landscape as far as the eye can see. The dust everywhere, in everything. It stings at your eyes, coats the insides of your mouth with a pasty film. You spit, wiping at it with your finger, but it's of no use. The stuff's taste has fouled your mouth completely. You look down at the key in your hand, a minute platinum orb, and picture the man's face who solemnly swore to you the magical portal you just passed through, now gone of course, led to the green fields of Bytopia. Someone, by all the powers in their proxies, was going to pay for this one. That was a short one. Like Extravagant. I like another session. Extravagant. And the third one. Slowly Dawning Horror. It is one of the larger chambers, 1 room counterclockwise from the stairwell. Okay. Slowly Dawning Horror. Ooh, this one sounds fun. How good could it be, you think, regarding the burgundy liquid carefully across the table from you? The twisted old man smiles slyly. Please, sir, try, he whispers, his hushed voice the sound of dry leaves blown over a roughly cobbled street. Thou shalt find it more than lives up to thy expectation, I am sure. You nod at him, and lift the crystal goblet into the air, watching the light play through the crimson liquor. You'd come a long way for this drink, searched long and hard for this old man, and you'll be damned to let anything rush you now. The moment was to be savoured. You raise the glass to your lips, inhaling the stuff's aroma. The bouquet is light, sweet, intoxicating, almost dizzyingly so. You've tried countless drinks, written tombs about them, their flavours, smells, means of manufacture, in your journeys across the plains, but this stuff was supposed to be legendary. No living man you'd found or heard of had tried the stuff. The stories were ridiculous. Nothing could taste quite so good, but if there was the slightest bit of truth to them, this would be some fine liquor indeed. At last you drink the goblet, a cautious sip. Incredible, indescribable. As the flavour washes over your palate, you fight the urge to shudder with delight. Nothing you have tried in all your long years has tasted quite like this. You look up at the old man, startled to find your glass empty. You had drained it all in a single draught? You wipe your eyes with the back of your hand, not entirely sure when you had begun to cry. Tears of joy, eh? The man laughs softly. Quite pleasing to the tongue, is it not? Wouldst thou like some more, perchance? He smiles at you once more. Yes, if I might. Surely, he replies, refilling your glass. Try as you might, you cannot resist downing it in a single gulp. You thrust your finger into the goblet in an attempt to find some last hidden drop of the stuff. Several times more does he fill the goblet, and each time you gulp the stuff down as a starving man would devour a feast, unable to control yourself to deny yourself another exquisite taste of it. He chuckles softly once more. A drink such as this, a man would do anything for it, no? You'd nod without hesitation. Yes, a man would. Looking at him, his sly smile suddenly takes on a whole new meaning. A sense of horror begins to creep over you, even as you begin to yearn painfully for more of the blood-red liquor. Yes, the old man grins, his yellow eyes gleaming. A man would do anything in the thrall of such a drink. Even the most terrible, the most heinous of deeds, as thou shalt see, my newest servant. Aha! Right, more! Give me more! I'd like another session, please. The Extravagant. The Indescribable Frustration. Oh! Hold up. Another session. I was a bit too quick there. The Indescribable Sensation. One of the larger chambers, 3 rooms counterclockwise. Okay, this one. I know I pay more money for it, but I've got plenty of money to spare. The reddish-brown orange. Let's begin it. You can see it now, the crown of Hafen gleaming upon a marble pedestal. No more than 20 strides away, it is with it you could wrest control of the armies of Athenopolis away from your treacherous brother and restore your father's kingdom. A fool your wretched brother was. You smiled grimly at the thought, to leave the king's only daughter alive, thinking she could do no harm. A sound, the creak of leather sandals, the softest hiss. Over there, by the third pillar. She was close now, Palafi the Medusa, jealously guarding the crown her servants had stolen for her so long ago. Crouching behind a wide pillar, you wrap your head tightly around your trusted thrice-blessed javelin. Wrap your hand tightly around your trusted thrice-blessed javelin. With your helm of swiftness and the 100-mirrored shield, even a beast such as Palafi would be no match for you. Any moment now, she would round the pillar and meet the sight of you. Even if she turned away from the shield, your javelin would surely find her throat. Suddenly, there is a gentle touch on your shoulder. You gasp, spinning around to face, of course, the Medusa. Accepting the inevitable, you only have time to loose a piercing cry of frustration before your lungs and every other part of you solidifies into cold, grey stone. Oh man, that would be things like, hello, tap, tap, tap. I'd like another session. The Extravagant. A vastly important secret will do. Excellent. The stone is the larger chambers, 2 rooms clockwise. This one. This is Violet Stone. 6 Imperial servants rush ahead of you, swinging the golden doors of the Dragon Palace wide. Long live the Empress, they cry in unison. 1,000 years long live the Empress. 1,000 years.
Updated my journal.
Thank you, Valkabear, and thank you, Grimmith, bringing a very large group of people that is quite a scary amount. Hello, everyone. I hope you are all doing well.
Updated my journal.
My journal is going to be updated quite a lot, I feel. We're not in the sexless brothel. We are in the fest hall.
Updated my journal.
My journal continues to be updated. I'm just going to stop reading for a moment because that's going to be interesting. Jesus. Well, thank you, Valkabear. That is very interesting. Giving everyone emotes. And also being the first subscriber. Congratulations. Oh, this is quite a crowd. Anyway, I shall continue. I'm glad the pleasure is yours as well. Beyond the threshold, dozens of loyal warlords, kings in their own right, drop to their knees, touching their heads to the floor in deference as you pass them en route to the grand imperial throne. As you turn and face your minions, seating yourself upon the imperial throne, you allow a small, satisfied smile to creep across your carefully painted lips. There is but one thought in the forefront of your mind. That the body of the young empress, Wu Sin Sha, lies broken at the bottom of the Well of Solitude, and that you, Bei Hua, a horse merchant's daughter, are at last poised to shake the empire and the corrupt Wu dynasty so to its very foundations. One more. I trust you enjoy the sensory experience. Well, Grimmith, apparently you're also a subscriber now too. Oh. Oh, give me a second. I've got something just for you, Grimmith. Just for you. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go.
I never asked for this.
There we go. Just for you, Grimmith. Just for you. There are currently more than a dozen. There we go. So we're going for the extravagant. We done lycanthropy will do. Wonderful. The stone you shall want is in the one of the larger chambers, one room counterclockwise. Right, what's this one? This bluish purple stone is the one the clerk directs you towards. Within it lies the experience lycanthropy. Suddenly aware of that an hour is almost come, you leap from your bed and run flying from your cottage and into the surrounding woods. Stumbling in the dark, you come to a small, moonlit clearing, the one you had found last week and decided to use. Tonight, you hastily strip off your clothes, sit in the long grass, and wait. You close your eyes, listening to the steady chirp of crickets, the throaty croaking of bullfrogs in the nearby creek, the rustle of the grass as the wind caresses it. What would someone think seeing this through your eyes, experiencing this moment, and what was next to come? Soon, you would travel to the city, find a cleric to rid you of the curse. But for now, may as well make the best of things. You rub your hands together with anticipation, grinning like a bearded, fire-haired giant of a madman, sitting naked and alone in a forest clearing in the dead of night. A prickling sensation runs along your skin, and your senses sharpen dramatically. You breathe in through your nose, inhaling the scent of everything around you. The damp earth, the sweat on your cast-off clothes, the opossum clinging fearfully to the tree behind you. You open your eyes and look down at your forearms. The faint moonlight reveals the slightest quivering along their surface, but in moments the flesh begins to ripple impossibly, tufts of thick brown fur sprouting forth with a grisly cracking sound, like popping joints and grinding bones. Your back and shoulders begin to hunch and broaden, uncomfortable but not quite painful. Your muscles, your entire body mass doubles, triples in size, and continues to grow. Still, fascinated by the transformation yourself, you watch as your fingers wither away to nothing, hands swelling into meaty paws from which burst fur and massive black claws. The night seems to become brighter as your eyes transform, becoming accustomed to the darkness. A wide muzzle comes into view, and you touch your wet, snuffling nose, delicately chuckling to yourself. Next time you think you'll have to stare into a mirror or pond as the curse takes effect. Watch your face warp and change, losing its similar shape to become a bear's. Soon, it becomes difficult to concentrate upon anything but your more basic urges. Food would be good right now. Yes, food. Perhaps you'll get lucky and find a nice fat catfish in the creek. You rise off your massive haunches with a huff and begin to amble through the trees on all fours, heading for the water's edge. Huzzah! I'm curious what this room has, because I've not been in this yet. Can I do anything with this? This is an unusual light blue stone. It's securely fastened. Well, there's nothing I can do with that, and I've done all of them so far. I like more sessions, please. Extravagant. More. The standard? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Supernatural lust. Ho ho. Right, that's what the 7th one is. Supernatural lust. Oh, come on. There we go. Begin. You find yourself coupling with a succubus, a creature of such intense otherworldly beauty that even her fiend's horns and thrashing tail give you no pause. She gasps under you. You desire her so completely that your whole of your existence seems focused towards a single goal. As your life explodes from you in a starry burst, you hear the delighted laughter of the succubus as she drains you dry, leaving your body but a soulless husk. There you go. And that's us done all of those so far? Yes, all of them. Right. Okay. Let's see. Find a way to erase Merriman's memory.
All right.
I wonder if there's someone I can talk to here. Let's have a wander. Well, we've got to find someone's head.
All right.
Montague, Sensates. It's the Fest Hall that we're in. And there's Jumble Murder Sense. I'm not going to kick with this, but I'm just curious to see what will happen. I'd like you to remove Reekwin's curse. Remove his curse, Jumble. Jumble raises one eyebrow and takes a step back. He opens his mouth abruptly, and through his lips or throat don't move to shape any words or both. A torrent of incomprehensible babbling begins to pour forth.
Updated my journal.
Jumble shuts his mouth and the babbling ceases. He peers at you through narrowed eyes, a self-satisfied smile on his pudgy face. Suddenly, you hiccup and hiccup and hiccup and hiccup again. Jumble Mundusens simply turns his head and waves you away. What have you done to me? He ignores you. I better find someone who could help me lose this curse. I need you to remove this curse from me. Or remove force to hurt you. He moves slowly. Exactly. Okay, so I'm no hiccup. Oh, I'm keeping that. I'm keeping this. I have got chronic hiccups. Oh, that'll drive me mad. Can you help me? Let's see. How can I buy something from the Sensate Vaults? You must become a member of the society. Ooh. I don't want to bluff because I don't want to. I'm trying to be lawful good. Jumble Murder Sense Cursed Mate. Could you or anyone know how to help?
Journal.
We would recommend that you speak to the one known as Salabesh. If he is not within Festal at the moment, he will be in its immediate vicinity. Salabesh is tall and thin, oft dressed in robes of black crimson. Oh, Salabesh. Salabesh, I think you are up here. Oh. Salabesh, where are you? Oh, I've got just chronic hiccups. This is magic. Right, okay. Let's see, guess this is alright. So not there. So is he maybe in one of the lecture halls? Three planes aligned. I don't think he'll be in any of the training rooms, but I'm just going to check just in case. Warriors in training, Barosaur. Nope, nope, nope. I have now been cursed. Training. It's fine. Nope. Death Advocates. Right, let's see. Fest Hall Room Clerk. Well, I want to find this wizard because I imagine this hiccuping will drive me very, very mad very, very quickly. Can I not go in any of these? Oh, I can. Unfulfilled desire. Hold up. The woman before you is incredibly attractive. There's some intangible aura around her that makes you want to speak to her. As you step up to her, she glances at you coyly, then she gives you a knowing smile. Hello. You want something, yes? She hisses the yes, drawing it out slowly, sensually from between her teeth. I can help. Name your desire, and I shall provide it. What do you have that I might want? All that you might want lies within my reach. What little I do not possess, I can obtain. Speak your desires. Okay. You? She moistens her lip and smiles. You feel your chest lurch as if something had plunged their hand into you and was pulling out your insides. A simple request, and I have one for you, traveler. I ask you to tell me, explain to me the way in which you want me. Let me hear you craving, then I shall speak my price. I want you, is that not enough? Her smile hardens. You must give your desire voice and emotion, or it is as dust to me. You must convince me that you truly desire what I can impart, or it shall not be yours. Okay, let's describe. As you speak, her smile fades and she leans forward. Attentively, her eyes ravaging your features as you speak. Her presence compels you to speak more than you normally would. And after a few moments, her eyes flutter close as she gives a sharp intake of breath. Suddenly, your craving for her begins to wane. Your desire drains from you completely, leaving only a cold emptiness behind. She opens her eyes again, smiling. There is a certain satisfied look about her now. What is wrong, traveler? Do you no longer want me? No. What have you done? She seems perplexed. Whatever do you mean? Despite her innocent demeanor, you're certain something unnatural has occurred. She has somehow siphoned off your desire for her, stolen it away for some ghastly collection of wants, or perhaps to feed upon, and now it's gone forever. Come now, is there something else you want? Tell me of it. I'd best not. But I do have some questions. No, okay, right. I don't want to share anything. I have someone earlier that I talked to that wants to forget things. So I think I'll be going back to them and telling them of her. Come on. Right. If memory serves, I think it's limited a bit to this area.
All right.
Let's see. Where is this wizard? I think he was actually outside. Trying to remember. Jumbo, Murder Sense, Splinter, Sensate. Oh, who are you? More Sensate. I think you're just outside. Ah, Celebish. Are you the one I was thinking of? Got some questions. You're a master of curses. Perhaps you could help me. Help you? Celebish is doubtful. Before you can respond, he sighs, shaking his head. Well, perhaps I could. What troubles you then? Jumble cursed me. Jumble murder sense. Ha! That sputtering mooncalf could never beat me. Oh, the battles we used to have, though. Celebish frowned. But I'm past all that now. No longer my sort of thing, you see. I really don't know what I could do for you. After all, it's his curse. Not the sort you'd find an item or some such, you know, that you could remove with some simple magics. He'll have to remove it, and willingly. Well, could you teach me a curse then, and that I could use on him? Well, I don't normally do that. I keep my curses to myself, you know, and besides, even a single curse would take one a long, long time to learn. More time than I'd care to spend on. Perhaps you're just worried your curses aren't good enough to best him anymore. You what? Of all the ridiculous. Now, look here, you knuckle-dragging sack of scars. Celebish the Onyx is the master of curses, and there is no other. Why, I could give you but a single phrase that would render that nincompoop's cursing wholly impotent. Well, teach it to me then. No, I've simply no desire to do it. Celebish looks directly into your eyes. Now, kindly drop the subject, Sarah, before you begin to annoy me. Perhaps you're just worried? Okay, never mind. And purse your lips. Look skeptical. That's it! You've made me do it! Celebish utters a short string of impossible syllables, words of power, which you note mentally for later use against Jumble. There. See what that does to him, and tell me Celebish the Onyx isn't the master of curses. As I continue to hiccup. Right. Are you... Is that you there, Murder Sense?
I'm gone.
I can't talk... Right. There we go. I can talk to you. Throw the curse Celebish taught you at him. Jumble stares at you with a somewhat skeptical expression as you speak the arcane syllables of Celebish's curse. After a moment of awkward silence, the chaotic mage notes that nothing seems to have happened, and an evil grin spreads across his face. He opens his mouth to retaliate with another curse of his own, only to realize he has no voice. Celebish's curse has removed Jumble's ability to speak, thereby destroying the chaotic's ability to curse others. He clutches at his throat, panic welling up in his eyes. Looks like the tables have turned, Jumble. What do you think will happen when anyone you've ever cursed finds out you can't speak or curse anymore? Jumble drops to his knees, a pleading expression in his eyes. He looks ready to burst into tears. Will you remove the curse you placed on me and swear never to curse another who didn't mean you harm? Jumble places his hands over his heart and nods vigorously. Well, very well. I'll remove the curse.
My journal.
Jumble sighs with relief as you remove Celebish's curse from him. He in turn removes his own, and your hiccups finally stop. He then bows humbly and casts his eyes to the floor. I'd like you to take your curse off Reekwind as well.
My journal.
Jumble nods, pouting, and with a wave of his hand removes Reekwind's curse.
In knowing the teachings of Zerthamon, I have become stronger.
And the con leveled up by watching me hiccup.
Endure.
Level
My
up.
blade has changed.
The con's weapon has changed. Well, that's neat. 7 hit points, better saving throws, better fighting skills. And how is your weapon changed? Dakon's streaming blade. Neat. A substance called Karat. That's nice. That's nice. I'm happy that your blade evolved. Right, okay. So we've done that part. Oh, yes, yes. We were going to go and talk to a
I'm
dwarf
gone.
that wants to forget. Trying to remember all the things I need to do. Where are you? You were over here the last time I found you. Aha! There you are, Merriman. Merriman squints up at you. Well, have you something that will wipe my mind of these accursed memories? I certainly hope you haven't returned without. You'll never get the key to Dolores' heart that way. Perhaps I... Oh. The only way you'll be taking any keys, young one, is by prying them from my cold, dead fingers. No. No. No, no, no. I don't want to cause a fight. I thought I could maybe have convinced them with the whole sort of... Well, that's the magicians that have failed. I thought I could potentially convince him to go to that maid person, but
I'm gone.
apparently not. Oh, who are you? It's just a sensei.
I'm gone.
Okay, room clerk, talk to me. The attractive young woman smiles pleasantly. Something I can help you with? Well, how can I get into these rooms? You'd have to be a member of the Society of Sensations, sir, approved by Splinter. He's just at the entrance. Well, can I rest here? The Civic Hall often rents out any unused chambers by the evening. You could certainly rest here. Well, yes, actually, because... Merchant Noble Royal. What's the difference? Excuse me. Though you're certain to heal every last wound in the same 8 hours owing to your amazing regenerative abilities. Anyone resting, so you will awaken. I'll take the 3. Oh, never mind. We're all scattered.
Stop staring at my tail, you skull.
I'm gone.
Okay. Merchant, rent, rest. We must all sleep in the same bed together. That's obviously what it was meaning. Right.
All right.
Well, those mages like to fail their spells. Okay. Let me talk to Splinter again. Because you seem to know. How can you help me? I had another question. How can you help me, Splinter? There was someone I was looking for. Merriman, no one. Okay, nope. How can you help me? Let's see. Can you show me to the other restaurants, lecturers? How can I buy something? Brain stopped working, and I don't want to talk to Jomi because she just wants to kill me. Quite literally, that's exactly what she wants to do. And I'm happy to get out of there because that music was starting to drill into my brain a bit too much. Right, let's see. The tailor, under sigil, the apothecary, an art and curio galleria. Well, let's go to the apothecary. Thank you, Zephy. Let's see. It's just humorous because it's like my job involves me speaking a lot, but this game has basically sapped. The first session I done, you could hear my voice getting drier and raspier by the end of it. And it seems to continue each time I play more and more. Okay, so let's see. We've got Pestle Killing. You see a wall-eyed fellow whose skin seems to writhe and ripple across his entire body. He is smacking his chapped lips with a botched tongue. As you watch, his right eye moves independently of the left, focusing on you. A second later, the left one flicks to look your way, then reverts to its
Updated
original
my journal.
position. Thank you, Necrolotu. The right eye blinks. A strange gurgling comes from his throat. This man gives a lopsided grin and points at himself with his right thumb. Pestle, I'm called, the
Updated
alchemist.
my journal.
He points at himself again, this time with his left index finger. The name's Kiln. Need you something? Okay, right. So he just gave himself 2 different names. And hello, Tukarizer. Thanks for the follow. Are you all right? I am. His throat convulses for a moment, then relaxes. A large green glowing pustule suddenly bursts from the side of his neck. Something you need then, sir. Gawk. His throat clenches again, and a wave of quivering flesh swallows the blistering green pustule back beneath the skin of his throat. He coughs violently for a moment, then seems to relax. What's going on? The left eye rolls upward in exasperation. The right eye looks askance. Too much to drink. Too much of what? Potions. I drank too many potions. His mouth slides down beneath his chin. His left nostril forms another one. The most I ever drank, that's for certain, of polymorphing. They were imbued in limbo. Okay, Cleo, sitting up straight. That's a good thing. That's always too much. Anything I can do to help? The man's eyes turn inward to look at each other, then back to you. Dunno. He shudders. The mouth below his chin moves up to envelope the one of his nostril formed. This sort of thing happens quite often. We can't seem to help but to sample the stock. If you find a way to help, the two of us would be grateful. Okay. Half of his mouth curls downward into a frown, shakes his head. Work in the stockroom all day, I do. He shudders violently. Suddenly, a third eye pops open above the bridge of his nose. The left one shifts sideways as the new eye takes place. I speak only of the thing next door, sir. That said, the skin of his face seems to eat the new eye, and the left one returns to its old location. I don't know what to make of that. That is terrifying.
All right.
This is supposed to be the apothecary. Yeah. Yeah, don't mix your potions. Don't binge drink the potions. I would have thought that would have been a place for me to go to, well,
Done.
get a drink for the other one. Ooh, hello, who are you? This old woman examines you closely with her sharp grey eyes, first your face, then your arms and various tattoos. Greetings, scarred one. Come to speak with Elabanda, have you? Come to have your fortune told, mayhap, for a paltry 5 coins? Yeah, sure, go for it. Elibrand takes your coin in her belt pouch and takes your hands. She quietly studies your palms, frowning deeply. At long last, she speaks. Some rare folks are what's called fateless, you see. They wander through their lives, doing as they see fit, creating their own destinies. You have no fortune to tell, scarred one. None at all. I've nothing to tell you, and so here is your coin. She returns your 5 coppers. Oh, well. Hold your moment, scarred one. Elbrand reaches out, touching your arm. My mother gave me something once, long ago, a scroll sealed with wax. A hooded man entrusted it to her and said that a man such as ye would one day unwittingly come to claim it. Here, I have it now for you. Elbrand shakes her head, frowning. I do not know. She was sworn never to read the thing, and I obeyed her request to leave the seal unbroken. Myself, the man had paid her handsomely to take the scroll, but warned her of the direst consequences should she open it. Well, let's have a look at the suspicious sealed scroll. This is an old, fading, innocuous-looking parchment scroll, bound with a single red ribbon and smelling faintly of mildew. The ribbon is held in place with a plain wax seal.
Updated my journal.
The scroll contains a few lines of shaky calligraphy and a strange rune. The calligraphy reads, This may not kill you, but it will slow you down, I am sure. Stop chasing me, you thieving bastards. It's my body. Mine, mine, mine. Now, die. What? The rune suddenly throbs, and the entire skull begins to dissolve into a stinking black mess. The fluid seeps directly into the flesh of your hands. In seconds, the magical hematoxin begins to render your blood into black bile. For a moment, you clutch at yourself, howling in agony, and then the pain subsides. You have survived whatever horrible magic was placed upon the scroll. Okay, cool. My succubus is basically super buffing me with all the health. Okay, right. That's the thing. I want to go into your house, though. Is there any lootables? There is lootables.
Right.
Okay, well there is, but I can't get to them.
Yes.
Right. Falling from grace. It's a diary. Nothing. Okay, right. That's fine. There is nothing to steal from the Fortune House. There's a harlot. Clerk's Ward Citizen. There's another house here. And a barkeep. A barkeep, you say? The smiling man nods cheerfully as you approach. Welcome to my cafe, good sir. What might I serve you? Some wine? No wine, but I've got some questions. The man gives you a helpless sort of look. Humblest apologies, sir, but I make it a policy to serve drinks and nothing more. You'll have to look elsewhere for conversation, I'm afraid. Are you certain you wouldn't like a drink? Okay, never mind then.
I hear
Right,
your,
the con.
your will be done.
Anything to loot? There is nothing to loot. Let's see. You can't determine what this odd device is. Well, it looks like a table.
I'm gone.
Some cafe patrons. Harmonium officers, clerics, harlots, ward citizen. What's this building? The curiosity shop. Well, it's piqued my curiosity already. Hope it doesn't charge me for that bit. And then we'll go into the gallery afterwards. Let's see. Vishinka and Standish. Well, we'll talk to Standish only because you're closer.
I don't trust the Gith. I say we leave him behind.
This downtrodden little man scurries about the curiosity shop, dusting, cataloguing, and moving things about for the place's proprietress. You notice he smells faintly of onions. He glances up at you nervously as you approach him. Please, sir, I cannot speak with you. I've work to do. My mistress simply won't allow it. Okay, then. We'll not talk to you then. This sharp-featured woman's appearance is attractive enough, though somewhat disturbing, with her blue-black skin and bright yellow eyes. As she examines you, a small pair of bat-like wings unfold from her back, then seem to settle down back into her skin. Well, well, a floating, disembodied, that's a word. Prevaricating skull and fall from grace, or whatever it is you call yourself now. Truly a pleasure to see you here. What do I owe the honour of your visit? I thought that you rarely trafficked among your kind anymore. She glances at you for a moment with the same faint sneer. Or is your assignment here almost finished? I do not know what assignment you are referring to, Vrishikya, though your presence here brings with it many questions. Last I had heard, you were a standard bearer for the Company of the Vulture. How did you come to Sigil? Ah, thank you, Grimmeth. She replies curtly, firing a question back like an arrow. By choice. And you? Where will your orders take you next? She suddenly turns to you. You see, little man, Vrishikya smiles, as if savouring the words. The best temptress is one that can make you buy into the illusion of being both promiscuous yet virtuous at the same time. A prostitute priestess, as it were. Mistress Grace is among the greatest. She turns to fall from grace. Are you not? You would not think that a 1,000 years of slavery had left their scars, no? Fall from Grace speaks with a coldness you have never heard before. The air almost becomes ice as she dissects Vrishikya with her gaze. That is enough. Very well. Though you are the ones who came into my emporium. Vrishikya looks to you. She narrows her eyes. You're the scarred man who's been going around asking all the questions. She looks you up and down. You sure look lost. Did you want to come in? Really? Or are you just casing the place because you have nothing better to do? Because Vrishikya, she indicates herself, can help you. Well, how can you help me? I travel and trade extensively. I hear a great deal, I purchase a great deal, and I own a great deal. Perhaps I can make you a great deal. Is there anything that you desire? Okay, well, what are you selling? Would you care to examine the weapons and charms, or some of my more exotic acquisitions? The exotic ones. The Fiend's Tongue, the Gorgon Salve, the metallic cube figurine, the monster jug. Well, what's the Fiend's Tongue? You examine what appears to be a tongue floating in a jar of brine. Vrishikya frowns at it. This is the Fiend's Tongue, a Cornigon's, I think, but who really knows? It's said that placed in the mouth of any living thing, it will give the ability of speech. Ooh, we're going to take this. Even if there was none before, I'm selling this oddity for only 66 coppers. Should you want it? I'll take it. A wise choice. The copper you pour into her hand seems to disappear the moment it touches her palm. She hands you the item. Please enjoy. Let's have a look at the exotic items again. In a metallic cube figurine. You examine a small metal replica of a cube-like creature with huge eyes on one of its faces. The toy has 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 folding wings, and at least 18 points of articulation. Rishinga smiles as you pick it up. A collector's item, perhaps, or a piece of artwork. Who knows, but I like it. If you do buy it, ask around. Someone might know more about it than I. You can have it for only 1,500 copper coins. Don't have that much money. What's this monster jug? You examine a plain-looking jug. Despite its common appearance, you feel reluctant to touch the thing, as if it might bite you. Rishinka watches you chuckling and then shrugs. It's a jug. It's got some sort of monster trapped in it. That's why your hair is prickling up like that. If you'd like it, it's only 123 copper. Let's see what the other items are. The front of the store? Baby oil, chocolate quasit, codex of the inconceivable, Deva's tears, elixir of horrific separation. Well, let's have a look at the baby oil. You examine a number of small bottles, each labelled as baby oil. Rashinka picks up one and presents it to you. Interested? It's the real thing, of course. Thousands of mewling mortal babies went into the making of this stuff. Let's look at the other stuff. The chocolate quasit. You examine a twisted little imp-like creature sculpted out of pure milk chocolate. It looks delicious, does it not? Imported from the lower plains. They're very rare, you know, and quite prized by lovers of chocolate and confections. It's a real quasit, a fiendish familiar polymorphed into chocolate by powerful sorcery. It's only 199 coppers. You yourself can have your own little chocolate imp. Let's have a look at the other things. The Codex of the Inconceivable. You examine a rather unassuming book held closed by a tiny brass lock. That, coos Vashika, is the Codex of the Inconceivable. I'll only say that it's just, well, I cannot explain it. Mere words simply won't suffice. You can own it yourself for a mere 1,000 copper commons, and believe me, it is well worth it. Okay, what about the Deva's Tears? You examine a small glass vial labelled the Deva's Tears. These were collected from a Deva who was captured during the Blood War skirmish. The fiends tormented the imprisoned angel for eons before he at last escaped. The small bottle holds 12 tears he shed in that time. Their price is 100 copper commons. I think angel's tears will be valuable. I'll take it. Yes, that's a wise choice. The copper you pour. Hands you the item. Please enjoy your newest acquisition. Let's continue looking at these exotic items. Front of the store. Elixir of Horrific Separation. You examine a bottle labelled as the Elixir of Horrific Separation. They present it to you. This stuff was compounded by a scholar who'd found she possessed a darker half. Oh! This will be good for the alchemist because they said it was 2 people that have been squeezed into one. So I think that's what this could be useful for. A side of her which took control at times and bade her do awful things. This potion was to have split the darker half away from her, creating 2 separate beings. Mercy killers, however, found and executed her for a string of depraved murders before she could use it. I charge you only 200 coppers. I'll take it. Yes, a wise choice. Okay, let's continue looking at these exotic items. Front of the store. Back of the store. Examine the stained lens. You examined a stained ground glass lens the width of your hand, held in brushed steel ring. A small geared protrusion coming off the ring makes it look as if the lens should attach to some sort of clockwork machine, and it smells faintly of horrible perfume. Vrashenka holds it up for you. I've no idea what that really is, but it radiates fairly powerful magic. An old soldier named Gisis brought it up to me from a lower plane battlefield. He'd murdered his own men in order to escape his tour of duty there, and brought me a number of interesting items he'd collected over the course of the campaign. I've kept mostly as a conversation piece, though you may have it for 149 copper coins. Don't know. Yevra's ring. You examine a ring in a small padded case. They hold it up so that you can see it more closely. This is Yevra's ring of almost invisibility. It makes the wearer invisible, almost. I will part with it for the meager sum of 349 copper commons. A ring of almost invisibility. Interesting. A rune-covered alestein. You examine a large pewter alestein covered in strange runes. Rashinka holds it up for you to see more closely. An ale mug of unusual manufacture, which keeps its contents, usually beer of course, icy cold, whatever the surrounding temperature. 299 copper commons, and you'll enjoy the frostiest ale you've had outside the power plane of ice. The thing is, like, like, is it just make everything invisible except for the nervous system or like your eyes or something like that? Because wasn't there a game? Oh, Quake. Yeah, Quake had invisibility, but the only thing you could see was their eyes. Let's see. A tattered ragdoll. The years have not been kind to this tiny ragdoll. It is coming apart at the seams, and it looks as if the threads are unraveling. It is obviously intended to be a replica of the Lady of Pain, but the button eyes and its plush softness don't strike much fear into your heart. Rishika holds it up for you. This was found in a well-trapped strongbox sunk deep beneath the surface of Sigil. It was part of a small hoard of treasure and forbidden magical texts. Though I don't know what it's for, if you like it, it's only 99 copper coins. Well, seeing the fear that everyone has of having the Lady of Pain, let's not have a little doll of the Lady of Pain. I think that only bodes trouble. Let's have a look at the weapons. Ooh, actually, we can sell some of our stuff. I'm still tempted to sell the Grimoire of Pestilential Thought. Still tempted. Let's see. Have we got anything else to sell? No. Do you have anything that you could give me? The Angelus Eye, we already have that. Magnifying Lens. Only by Modrons. Ooh. Ooh, I can have a Modron as an ally. Oh, that'll be neat. Dread Bond. Immunity to Panic. Nice. Spider Bracelet, that's for thieves. Ashes of the Pabulum. Summons Trellons. These ashes are all that remains of a school of illusionists called the Pabulum. According to their expedition logs, they travelled in the plain of Shale in search of the lost works of the Fosterer, a powerful sorcerer who once ruled an empire where the plain of Shale now lies. The naive illusionists were successful, and they stumbled across one of his lost works, a hive of vicious creatures called the Trellons. The remains of the mages were found days later by 2 barrier scouts and were burned over a pyre as a symbol of their folly. To unlock the power of these ashes, one only needs to stir them with their index finger of the left hand, and then sprinkle a pinch of the ashes into the air in a circular pattern. The smell of the remains of these dead mages is said to cause a Trellon to appear to serve the user. No one knows where the Trellons originated from, but they seem to combine the worst characteristics of demons and insects. They seem to bear an insane hatred for mages. But, well, it's a shame that I'm a mage. This does not bode well for me. Okay, well, first things first, we're going to go to the apothecary and we're going to see if that elixir works.
Done.
Yeah, like, that is very tempting, Grimmeth. It is incredibly tempting. Because the Grimoire of Pestilential Thought, as I said, I want to try my best to be a good, lawful character. It is the Grimoire of Pestilential Thought, an arcane tomb created ages ago for purposes unknown. Intent teaches mortals the nature of evil. Some sages warn against its use. So part of me really wants to sell it, but then also I can talk to the item as well.
Done.
So I'm like, I could sell it for a whopping amount of cash, but then I can also do something with it. And it's like, I don't know what I want to do. I've got this elixir of horrific separation. Do you think it'll help? Both his eyes suddenly snap to the small bottle in your hands. He nods, smacking his lips. Well, here you go. Pestle Keln takes the bottle in both of his hands and places it beneath the counter. His left eye focuses on you while the right eye and hand concentrate on scrabbling furiously on the countertop. We can use this to make something that'll fix us up. Right on top, now, if you'll give us a moment when we got it all worked out, we'll make you some healing stuffs as a reward. He turns to head to the back of the shop. Okay. And is there now 2 of them? Yay! Is there? I don't know. Oh, wait. Pestle and Kiln. Yeah, there's 2 of them. Nice. Pestle. This man closely resembles Pestle Kiln, though without the crawling skin and constant subtle mutations. Greetings again, sir, and well met. And what it is Pestle can do for you? I was hoping to get some healing concoctions. Yes, of course, your reward, Let's see now. I'll manufacture them for nothing, of course, but I'll need the proper ingredients. An Oni's heart, or powdered hematite, the hair of a diva, or the thread of some Asaman's robe, or the blood of a regenerating creature, such as... Actually, my wounds heal very quickly. Pestle raises an eyebrow. Do they now? Well, then your own blood just might do. Here, give me a sample. Here, I want you to go on this mighty quest. Nah, just use my blood. It's all good. After drawing a small quantity of your blood and retreating to the back of the store, Pestle returns with a number of what appears to be hardened drops of blood. Placed upon one's tongue, these clot charms will heal existing wounds and aid the preservation of new ones for a time. Well, thank you. Well, can I buy something from you? Okay, Gorgon Salve. I get the feeling that I'm going to need a Gorgon Salve because that's several times we've seen those. And Thrice-Binded Charm? Oh, Blindness. Adder's Tears, all this. That's fine. Actually, can I sell the Adder's Tears? Sure, I had one of those somewhere. Yeah. Let's talk to Kiln. This man's face closely resembles, without the mutation, ta-ta-ta. Just some questions. Can I buy something? You'll have to talk to Pestle.
I'm gone.
Ah, I was hoping that I maybe have got some potion of forgetting. Got some questions? No. Okay, fine. 6,000 XP is something.
I'm gone.
But, before I forget, I'm going to head back into the, what's it called? The Brothel of Slating Intellectual Lusts, because I want to get an update from Dolores to see if she knows anything. Delora, even. No, okay, right. So I can't get anything for her. Ooh, Kisai Cerise. Smiles warmly as you draw near her, pushing a wavy lock of hair away from her bright crimson eyes. Well, greetings once again. Something I can do for you. Well, what do you do? Talk, of course. Ah, right. Okay. Another time. She pouts. As you like. Okay, I don't mind. Let's go to see if I can talk to Echo and give her that tongue. Echo, where are you? Echo? There you go, Echo. The striking young woman has the skin of burnished copper. Greetings again. I have some questions. May I ask why I can't communicate? She sighs. Do you know a word that will unravel the multiverse if it's spoken? Her eyes widen in surprise and she gives you a beaming smile, rolling her eyes and shaking her head. May I ask if it was something else? She sighs softly and nods. Are you emotionally wounded? She looks at you strangely and shakes her head. May I ask if it was something else? She sighs softly and nods. Well, let's ask if it's something else. Okay, so I need to... I guess it's not letting me. I know the people kept telling, oh, you need to talk to Delora, but to talk to Delora, I need to get this guy to forget stuff. I need to figure out how I can get this person to forget things. Who are you? Is your name Echo?
My journal.
She nods, smiling pleasantly. Okay, right. I already knew her name was Echo because people kept telling us, why did my journal need to get updated to tell me something that obviously the nameless one already knew? Right, okay.
Done.
Right, let's have a look. Spice up Juliet's love life. Let's see, apparently she's not satisfied. Okay, let's see. Deliver some false love letters to a man named Montague for her lover, Juliet, in order to make him think she's having an affair. As soon as I can find some letters, I'm to take them to him in the Civic Festival as proof. I wonder where I can find some love letters. Anyway, let's see. Keys to the Heart. I have agreed to seek a man named Merriman, Dolores' first love. She should ask him for the fuel. Yes, but... I received the scroll from a woman. Right. I don't know what that done to me. Apart from seriously wound me. Let me have a look through. Koisai, the common instructor, has taught me the way of the stone. Merriman wants me to help him lose his memories before he gave me the keys to Dolores' heart. I suppose I'll have to look out for something that would do that to a person, then bring it back to him. Merriman himself suggested water from the river Styx as one possibility. Right, cool. I don't... Have I... Okay, so the only thing that mentions that is what was on my back. Right. Let's see. Back to the lower ward. Well, let's have a look down the bottom left here, see if there's anything that I can find. Oh, Drunken Mage. Oh, they're the best kinds of mages. This older man is staring into a stein of ale, misery etched into his features. The battered pewter mug is an unusual one, lightly engraved with strange runes and bearded faces, and covered with a coat of thin frost. He looks up at you as you approach him. "Greetings, sir." He seems slightly tipsy. "Something wrong?" He sighs, belches into his hand, and nods as he takes another pull of ale. "Aye, something's all wrong. I've gone and lost my apprenticeship. Well hungover I was, and botched my mentor's last experiment, all for this damned drink." He sneers at the mug in his hand, but in seconds his expression softens and he takes another swig.
Updated my journal.
"Thank you for the follow, Summer. Ruins everything it does, this damnable drinking of mine." "Well, why don't you
Updated
stop
my
drinking?"
journal.
He shrugs and sighs miserably. "I simply cannot. I want to, but I cannot. I just need to drink. I try and stay away, but desire eventually overcomes me, and I cannot resist. Such a wreck I've become." He throws back the last of his ale and calls for more. "There's someone you should speak to. Unfulfilled desire. You can find her in the Civic Festival. Talk to her of your love for drink. You'll soon find you won't want it
My
anymore."
journal.
His eyes brighten. "Truly, I shall go. Speak to her now. Then I thank you, sir." He pauses, looking down at the empty mug. "Here, I think you can have this. I need it no longer." Yeah. Sweet! I didn't need to buy any steins. I got given one. Nimel. Oh, wait a minute. Why is your name familiar? This tall, slender woman, sipping wine from a small ceramic cup, appears to be looking for someone. Her facial features are elegantly exotic, and the woman's ears, though partially covered by her long hair, can be seen to come to a sharp points. The woman turns to face you, violet eyes flashing like flawless chips of amethyst. Her speech is as music. You can hear a faint musical tinkling, 100 tiny crystal bells as she speaks. Each word lingers in your ears as if they were unwilling to relinquish their exquisite sound. Nimel turned to face the scarred, dour stranger. She asked what he wished of her. "Wow." "Pah!" Anna sneers at Mort. "Stop your drooling, you leering skull." My, what a hot-blooded little chit, starved for attention. "I could drool over you too if you're just jealous." Mort starts floating towards Anna, making wet, slavering noises. "Get a hair's breadth closer, skull, and I'll see to it that not one of your chattering teeth lies within 100 paces of another." Mort stops abruptly, turning away while muttering unintelligently. "You're Nimel? I was told you know the command word for this decanter." The woman makes no move to touch or examine the decanter, but only speaks. Nimel took it from the stranger, turning it in her hands. Had she seen its like before, she thought? Perhaps. Yes, she remembered now. She returned the decanter, whispering into his ear as she did so.
Updated my journal.
You realize you know the word now. Nildenosage. Though you're certain the woman never whispered it to you, but merely said she did. She blinks at you. Would the stranger leave her now, satisfied with what she had told him? Not just yet. Are you looking for someone? Where could she be? Nimel wondered. Her companion, Aelwyn, was supposed to have met her here days ago. The woman sighs miserably. The air around her goes chill with her sadness. How long must she search this vast foreign city before she finds her dearest friend? Well, I can help you look for her. What does she look like? Nimel clasps her hands together and bows her head to you. She would be so pleased to hear news of her friend. She would told the kind stranger what Aelwyn looks like, so that he would know her should he come across her. An image forms in your mind. A woman who resembles Nimel, but with golden eyes and hair of fiery crimson.
Updated my journal.
Well, that's fair. I have a decanter. Decanter of endless water with command words. Neat. I'm happy I kept this. This ordinary-looking stoppered flask that somehow holds an endless supply of water. You know the command word for this item, Nildenosage, and you're confident that you can put out almost any fire, no matter how intense. Okay, I'm happy that I got that upgraded without really knowing what it did. Let's see. What's the... Abel Ponderthought. Well, let's talk to you, Abel Ponderthought. This older man looks somewhat bookish. His clothing and accessories are extremely clean, neat and well cared for, and he often pauses to brush some fleck of dust or lint off of him. A symbol resembling a stylized dagger piercing upwards through a flame is embroidered upon his tunic. The man's eyes pass over you, gleaming as they fix on Mort. Oh, I say, would you look at that, a floating skull. Mort turns and looks behind him. Where? Where? The man gasps. By the unjust laws of Tyranny the Merciless. Who? He suddenly covers his mouth and looks at Fall from Grace apologetically. Sorry. The man was a horrible tyrant, now long dead. His name should never be spoken so. 'Tis rather vulgar. My deepest apologies, Lady Gress. I did not mean to offend. She smiles slightly. It's no matter, Abel. I am certain only Tyranny would have been offended by the comment. And as you know, his subjects buried him alive more than 3 centuries ago. Woo! Yes, you're probably right. He turns back to Mort, but behold, a skull be buoyant, levitating off the ground, cognitive of its environment, and possessing hearing, speaking, and seeing capabilities. He turns to you as if you are suddenly a confidant. This is truly one of the reasons that the plains shall never become dull to me, sir. Just when you think you have seen everything the plains show you, yet another corner to peer around. He raises his hands gloriously. Suddenly, whole new wondrous vistas are open to you. Actually, the talking floating skull thing is quite common, right up there with self-resurrecting amnesiacs, sigils for lost identities. I'm not sure if Mort qualifies as a wondrous vista. The man ignores you, looking at Mort and said, I say, skull, he begins. Mort gasps, look behind you, another floating skull. Let Mort have his fun. The man seems to have forgotten you entirely, instead turning in shock to look for the other skull. No, where? The man seems to have forgotten you entirely, instead turning back. Alright, right where I'm pointing, there. Where? I cannot see it. Mort speaks in mock exasperation. You just missed it. A whole parade of them. Probably never going to happen in a million revolutions of the Great Ring. He turns and harumphs. I sense you also possess a peculiar degree of mockery. Mort bobs slightly as if shrugging. I prefer to refer to it as keen insights into human nature. He suddenly seems to see you for the first time. The man's eyes widen. By the unjust laws of tyranny that he catches himself looking apologetic. I say, are you alright? You look hurt. I'm alright. It hurts to look at him, it does. An odd comment for someone that looks like to be a giant rat tail spouting from her bottom. Very amusing, Anna. I have some questions. The man nods eagerly. Of course, sir. I am always almost happy to answer what questions I can, young sir. Okay, I've got a question about you. Me? Certainly. Well, who are you? Well, my name is Abel Ponderthought. Okay, some other questions. What are you doing? I passed my administrator exam just recently and have achieved the status of an A9, a research consultant in the Hall of Records, one of the many aides specializing in sigils, physical laws, and history. I can research. Can you look something up for me? I almost certainly can try. What is it you want to know? I am information on any deceased person who matches my description. He seems puzzled. An odd request, sir. Such a manner of men would have been noteworthy figures for my work to turn up. Anything of interest? Are you investigating an ancestor of yours? Something like that. Yes, I shall look into it. I shall have the information in less than a day from now. Thanks. Can you look into something else? About Ravel Puzzlewell. Ravel, if she truly existed, there is little to prove that she did, was a night hag, one of the inhabitants of the Grey Waste of the lower plains, and believed by some to be the worst of the lower plains. As legend goes, Ravel was mazed several centuries ago. She was believed of being a mistress of many strange magics. Then apparently her presence and sigil constituted a threat to the lady. I'm afraid I know little more about her. Well, can you research her? Yes, I shall look into it. I will have the information in less than a day. Okay, let's talk about something else. Let's see.
Updated my journal.
Okay, apparently it did less than a day. It took like 3 seconds and he had done all that research. Why yes, actually, most curious. I found mention of 2 different men who matched your description. Both of them most despicable sort, I'm afraid. The first man was an utter madman, a berserk, bloodthirsty mercenary and duelist who killed all those who crossed him. He nods. He was finally captured and subsequently drawn and quartered by 24 mercy killers after a murderous rampage in a lower ward pub, not perb. His remains were cast beyond the walls of Sigil. This was all some 3 centuries past. What about the other man? Little is known of him. My research showed that he was a sensei who, shortly before his death, destroyed all the dozens of sensory stones that he had recorded his experiences into. It was noted as a great loss to the faction for the man, though he had few friends, lashing out at anyone who approached him too closely. Was said to have collected a great many wondrous sensations. How did he die? I do not know, the records do not say. Okay, you got my thing. Did you find out anything about
Updated
Rabel?
my journal.
Yes. Apparently she disappeared from the fest hall one night and was believed to have been mazed. To many people's relief, records indicate that something of hers was needed to open a portal to her maze, but none knew that this might be, nor wanted to find out. You may want to ask the people within the fest hall of her. Okay, she was mazed. Continue to listen, because we've already done that. There's believed to be a way out in each maze. That's fine, we already knew that part. I have a question about you. What's the symbol embroidered on your tunic mean? Why, it's a symbol of the Fraternity of Order. We are responsible for much of the law-making and running of the courts here in Sigil. Many judges, advocates and clerks are members of our order, and we are pleased to be able to help enforce Sigil's laws and keep things orderly. We make a strident effort to learn all laws, whether they pertain to Sigil, the Planes, or the multiverse itself. Okay, what's it
Updated my
believe?
journal.
The Fraternity of Order believes that the multiverse is governed by laws. When one knows all the laws, one will understand the multiverse. That is our goal. By understanding the laws, their limits, we learn to avoid certain laws. Oh, okay. What's the benefits? Well, our fraternity allows us to read languages quite easily, and we may use some of the rules of the multiverse on occasion to suit our benefits. Okay, that's enough. Barkeep? Nothing? Oh no, you don't want to talk to me. But I will go into the place behind you. Anything here?
I'm gone.
Takan?
I will hear you.
Nope.
How may I help?
Well, there's a harlot
A
here.
pleasure.
Nothing. Nothing. And we all leave.
All right.
Happily ever, maybe not so after. What's in this tent? Takan.
Balance, I shall serve.
Balance and you will serve. If you insist. Another harlot. What's this? You can't determine. This wrought iron bar seems to serve as a decoration. And what's in this building? Actually, what is this building? The Advocate's Home. Okay.
I'm gone.
Advocates. Well, you're the only one here, so let's have a chat with you. This man is dressed in soft blue robes covered in intricate designs. Despite their opulence, however, the robe looks wrinkled and worn. You place the man's age somewhere between middle age and early 60s. The worry lines make an exact determination difficult. As you enter, the man slowly turns towards you. As he does, you are suddenly struck with a terrible sense that you know this man, or did at one time. The man squints as if trying to place you. Yes, is there something I can help you with?
Updated my journal.
Who are you? I am Lannis. He studies you and frowns. Were you looking for me? I don't know. What is this place? I am an advocate. These are my offices. Lannis's voice takes on an irritated edge. Do you seek counsel? If not, perhaps you had best test your curiosity elsewhere.
Updated my journal.
What's an advocate? Lannis' frown deepens. An advocate provides counsel, helps others navigate the labyrinths of Sigil's legal system, arranges legacies for citizens to ensure that their property is divided as they choose upon death, defends those in Sigil's courts who have been wrongly accused. He pauses. Did you need help in any of these areas? Well, if you could explain the legacy for me. Because I have a... They are contracts that are deliverable at the death of the client. They provide specifics on how a person's possessions are to be divided upon the event of their demise. I have also heard them called wills. Are they anything like Dustman contracts? Oh my, no. The Dustman contracts, while they are deliverable at the time of the client's death, bequeath the client's body to the dustman. Not a pleasant business at all, but some who are poor of means find the Dustman contract to be a means of support. How would one go about invalidating a Dustman contract? One that's already signed? Little or nothing can be done once the signature is in place. The Dustman contract is quite specific on the destination of the corpse after death. Without the destruction of the contract, there is really nothing that could be done. Well, we destroyed one earlier. I see. Do I owe you anything for this information? I am not the sort that charges others for giving them aid in this sort. He smiles slightly. I'm an advocate, not a rug merchant, and greed is not permitted to step into my office. Thank you. I'm grateful. Perhaps there's something else you can help me with. Um, Very well. What is it I can help you with? Well, excuse me for asking, but are you all right? You must excuse me. As of late, I have been beset by troubles. I'm afraid it has been a rather trying time these past few years. Well, anything I can help with? No, there is little that can be done. He nods at you nevertheless. I appreciate your offer. Perhaps talking about your problems will ease your mind. I do not wish to burden you. I lost my daughter not long ago. There was also the fire, but that is another matter. Well, tell me of your daughter. Instantly, Annis seems to collapse into himself. Yes. His businesslike facade drains from his eyes to be replaced with cold despair. My daughter, Dianora. Oh! Oh! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, I loved your daughter. Oh no! Tell me about her. What was she like? I saw a woman with that name interred in the mortuary memorial hall. Tell me about her. Dianora, she was young. She had recently joined the Society of Sensation, the Sensates, and not an unpleasant faction, but she had also met someone there. She followed him on a journey. She died. Her bod, he looks pained. I was not even able to recover her body. I saw a woman by that name interred in the mortuary
Updated my
memorial
journal.
hall. Yes, I arranged for a bier to be placed in the memorial hall. There is no body there, of course, but I hoped the bier would serve as a marker by which she may find her way home. Well, it worked. Her spirit resides there now. What? I say, what did you just say? Her spirit resides in the memorial hall. You had best be speaking figuratively. If so, then I have no time for your wordplay. No, my words are literal. Her spirit now resides in the memorial hall. I spoke with her for a time, and she seems to be in distress. You spoke to her? This seems to become more confused by the moment. What distresses her? I'm not certain. I wasn't able to make out what she was saying. Me, apparently. She said that she loved... Oh, no! Oh, no! I put myself into a horrible position where the choices I've got are very limiting. Ugh. I'm not certain. I wasn't able to make out what she was saying. Or, me, apparently. She's... Well, 2 would be the truthful one. Ugh. I see. Perhaps Ernest frowns and studies you. His face has become like stone. Are you the one she left sigil with? The one who led her on the journey that killed her? I'm not certain. I think I may be that man, but I have forgotten much. You! Lannis looks you up and down. You are the one, and you say you have forgotten? Lannis draws himself up. He looks like he is squaring himself for battle. You have forgotten, but the instant was not so long ago. How can this be? I have a strange condition. I lose myself for a time. Anything you can tell me about myself or your daughter would be invaluable. I misspoke. Okay, number 1, because I'm being honest. Countless liars have I known in my tenure in this city. Lannis studies you intently. You do not strike me as one of them, at least on this matter. He sighs. If you truly do not remember, then whatever befell you and my daughter on your journey must have left deep scars. I am inclined to agree. Then I ask your word on this. If your memory returns and you discover what happened to my daughter, return to me so that my mind may at last be rest in the matter. Well, I vow it. Very well, then. Now leave. I wish to be alone with my thoughts. Okay. I'm sorry. Can I talk to you? Greetings, Ioannis. I've got some questions. Yay! I can talk to you a bit more. What is this advocate? Legacies. Ooh, so many messages I've suddenly got spammed with. What's going on? Nah, we're all good. Cool. There are contracts that are deliverable. I see. Perhaps there is something else you can help me with. Can you tell me about the fire? There is nothing much to say about the matter. It was a strange localized fire. I cannot imagine what would have been precious in the documents that were burned, but someone must have wanted them destroyed. Any luck in locating the person responsible? No, neither Harmonium nor the Mercy Killers have had any fortune in locating the person responsible. Well, can you tell me what was burned? A number of old legacies were burned, and some mementos and other keepsakes that of value only to me. Legacies, okay. Dustman contracts. How one invalidates. I see. I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you. Okay, right, we've done that part. Let's see. What's this place? What kind of council? Alright, cool. We've done that. And we've accidentally met Dianora's father. Joy of joys. That was
Alright.
not what I was expecting to do. Let's see. Warrant citizens and a performance artist. Let's watch. This This man's face has been painted white. A pair of arched eyebrows has been penciled onto his brow, and red powder has been used to make small circles on his cheeks and accentuate his lips. He says something, but you can't hear him. His hands are pressed up against what looks to be an invisible wall. What? I can't hear you. He bangs his head, sighs soundlessly, and shrugs. He then steps back a bit, waves farewell to you, and begins to pantomime various actions, pulling on a rope, walking downstairs, and so on. Fall from Grace looks closely at the man. I believe I've heard of this sort of performance art. It's a common on a number of prime worlds. She lowers her voice so that only you can hear her, and widely loathed on more than a few of them. Let's see if we can touch them. You reach out to touch the man, but your hand is stayed by some unseen force. The performance artist appears to be trapped in some sort of invisible box. Huh. Okay. Well, I guess he's despied and he's been trapped. Ooh, a thug boss. Hello, thug boss. This young but well-muscled thug, while certainly well-armed and large enough to be dangerous, seems awfully clean for a typical street tough. He's carrying a massive axe in one hand and a steel box in the other. As you near him, he puffs up and scowls at you. What are you looking at, sod? Pike off before I've got to scrag you. Scrag? What in the 9 planes of bat are you talking about, you Egypt? Scrag's nagged, nipped, yanked by the hardheads, you clueless, addle-covered Burke. He glares daggers at Anders, but says nothing. You do seem a little well-groomed for a thug. Stop shaking your bone box, Leatherhead. This is my territory, and you'll soon be leaving quick, if you don't want my bloods to tear you apart. Anna snickers, shaking her head. Rattle, you sod, rattling your bone box it is. I'd like to see how long you'd last, drop smack in the middle of the hive, acting as you are. Anna turns to you. Come on, let's be off. No use wasting time with this wee stemmed basher would be. His face flushes angrily as he gnashes teeth. That's it. You've piking asked for it. Get him, bloods. He raises his axe and leaps to attack. Well, run away. Oh, nope, they're coming for me. Okay,
Done.
you run up that
I'm
way.
listening.
You deal with them. Dakon,
It is I.
you deal with the thug boss.
Aye.
And you deal with that one. And I'm going to cast a spell. Magic missile on this guy. Run away! More.
What's up?
Get in there and help.
Trench's folly.
Playtime is over.
Right, more spells. Let's see. Force missile. No, that does damage to people around. Let's just do another regular magic missile. Oof, wow. My allies are doing a hell of a lot of damage.
Did you see that?
Yep. Okay, all on one.
A little out of practice,
Done.
it seems.
Right,
I'm here.
Falls from Grace, you're going to be
Pleasure.
looting. Blood Charm, Bond's Ring. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, I like all of those items. Those are going on the nameless one. Cranium Rat Charm. And I'm going to leave the Stiletto. Nameless one.
Alright.
Got some spells for you. Chromatic Orb and a steel box. Let's have a look at this steel box. The sturdy steel box has a thick leather handle on the top, but there's no apparent way of opening the thing. It appears to be welded shut. There are a number of very narrow slits along the side, though you can't quite see into the box through them. A sickly sweet, rotting smell wafts out. Well, let's talk to it. The sturdy steel box, you can't quite see into the box. A sickly sweet smell wafts out. As you examine the container more closely, it shifts slightly in your hands. Something moved inside. There's a man's voice from within. Ho there, is someone there by chance? My name's Mertwin. Anyone? Hail? Hold up, Mertwin's familiar. Mertwin's head! We found his head! Yes, greetings. Thank the powers. Have you seen my body perchance? It's hard to miss him. Stumbles around, silly wooden head on his shoulders. He must have worn his feet down to stubs looking for me by now. Yes, in the civic hall. My good fortune then. Could I persuade you to return it to him, good sir? Yeah, okay, I'll do
Updated
that.
my journal.
How splendid. I thank you kindly, sir. If you don't mind now, then we'll held off speaking any further until you get to my body. Well, that's the thing. Finum the Linguist's home. Well, let's go into Finum the Linguist's home. Finum the Linguist. No, it is not there. Where is that book? Oh, hold up. I have Finum's book. Finum glances your way, frowning. Chosen to grace my home once more, have you? Oh, wait, say. This short, scholarly man, a tight, nervous frown on his face, looks you up and down. Greetings, I am Finum. I must beg your pardon, sir, but I care little for guests, invited or otherwise, so unless you've business with me, I would ask you to leave. Just got some questions. I would have you know I'm a scholar and a linguist, sir. While I happily entertain any questions regarding my field of study, language like I can be of no help in other matters. Well, I have your book that you were talking about.
Done.
Literally. I'm just going to sit in here and wait. No, it is not here. Where is that book? Seriously, pal, I have your book. And sure enough, I'm going to take that coin and that handkerchief. Because I can. No, seriously, I have your book. Ugh, fine. I'll come back to you another time.
I'm gone.
Right, let's go and give that head to the body. Still have to go to that gallery. Keep getting distracted by all these quests. Ellie Havelock. Oh my goodness, there's so many people to talk to. Right, we'll go in here first.
I'm gone.
Right, body. There we are, Mertwin the Headless. This must be Orton's body. Merton's voice suddenly echoes from within the steel block. Oh, there it is. That's my body. Say there, old chum. Over here. The body shuffles towards you, reaching out towards the steel box containing the head.
Updated my journal.
Ah, much better. I thank you, good sir. I imagine my body here was getting a bit restless without me. The body hugs the steel box tightly. Yes, I missed you too. The body tucks the case under its arm and bows to you. And as for you, good sir, you certainly deserve some sort of reward for your trouble. Let's see what I've got now. The body fumbles about in its pockets, and finding nothing there, in its tunic, finally it presents you with several handfuls of copper coins. Thanks, Merton. I had some questions. How'd you end up the way you are? I'm not sure, really. The body set me down in one of the lecture halls, and the next thing I knew, someone had absconded with me. No, but what I meant is, how did you lose your head? The body stiffens visibly. Oh, we don't like to talk about it. Quite horrible, really. What's the past is the past, no need to dredge it up. Though I will say I'm in the box because my head's not quite as presentable as my body, if you get my meaning. Well, what are you doing here? I mostly amble around the fest hall. I like to watch things milling around. Did you do sensates long enough? Blah, blah, blah. Right, okay. Let's see. What do you know about Ravel? Ravel? Can't say I recall the name. Okay. That's fine.
I feel stronger.
Yay! Leveled up at long last. That'll get me a stat point, I believe. Let's see. My wisdom, I believe, is maxed out. One characteristic, more spells, and 4 more hit points. I think 25 is the max stat, and I kind of like the idea of having more charisma. Yeah.
I'm gone.
Right, let's go talk to that Ellie one. Oh, first off, you get to level up. And improve your pickpocket and the rest in open doors. There we go. Good.
All right.
Right. Let's talk to Ellie Havelock. This narrow-eyed, sharp-faced man is scanning his surroundings with a look of vague disinterest, pausing occasionally to look down and pick at his fingernails. Despite being clothed in silk and velvet finery, he managed to look unsavoury and more than a little dangerous. The man looks your way, his eyes are dark slits, like narrow stab wounds beneath his brow. His voice is low and gruff despite his slender build. Pike off. I've just got some questions. You think I wander the ward looking for strangers to spill dark for? Now pike off. Well, why are you here then? To be surly with passers-by? He stands quietly for a moment, then breaks a crooked smile. That's good, that. He considers you for a moment. I'm a tutor at the Civic Fest Hall. Name's Havelock. Ellie Havelock. As a veteran scout, I teach the arts of subterfuge. Oh, you mean thievery? His lips curl up in a disgusted sneer. thieves and thievery it always is. 5 tours I spent as a reconnaissance operative in the War of Lies. Scout is my title. Scout. I teach the ways of stealth and spycraft, not common thievery. My apologies. Can you train me? Ellie frowns out. I don't know. I've had enough of teaching petty pickpockets and curious sensates for the time being. Almost to himself, he mumbles, not sure why I agreed to do it in the first place. Perhaps because by teaching others, you make them aware of your own skill. At the same time, you defend the nobility of your skills by assuring them that you're no common thief, but a scout and spy, a master of subterfuge. Healing nods, mulling over what you said. Aye, there's no denying it. It's sort of sorry, though, when you have to look at it that way. I don't think so. Those of your trade are often misunderstood, thrust unfairly into the same category as footpads and brigands. There's nothing wrong with dispelling false notions. Ha! Right again you are. He gives you a friendly punch to your shoulder. Thanks, blood. He suddenly looks off into the distance. Well, enough wasting time out here. I'm heading back to the festival. If you still want to train, that's where you'll find me. Okay, 12,000 experience points for helping the midlife crisis.
All right.
Okay, that's a thing. Salabesh, can you do anything for me? Future mage? No. Okay.
I'm gone.
Okay, right. Let's finally go to this art gallery. As I keep getting distracted again and again. Oh, hello. Unprovoked. A fool thou art. Fool, I foolishly suffering from miserable company. This young actor seems far too involved with giving his performance to pause. Well, let's drop a coin into the cap. Your coin lands in the cap with a soft clink. The actor, without stopping his performance, gives you a quick nod of thanks. Leave. Let's drop a coin into his cap as well. It's a performance! Nice. Oh, that's cool. Right, let's go into the gallery. Right.
All right.
Oh, what's this? Dark birds of Acanthus. Several shards of black crystal or ice swirl within the freezing wind that this ornate pedestal gives forth. Each shard looks razor sharp. Touching or grabbing one could be perilous. A placard on the pedestal reads, Dark birds of Acanthus. Ooh, catch one in your frost ale mug. Go for it. You dip the mug into the icy wind rising from the pedestal, catching a small bird with a slight clang. Peering into the mug, you can see the dark bird is a razor-sharp sliver of black ice. Only the mug's magical properties prevent the shard from melting away to nothing. Huh, okay. Let's leave them be. What's this art? A set of 4 paintings which portray an empty beach on the dead of a night. The air around the painting smells faintly of brine, and the painted sea seems to ebb and flow across the darkened shore. A placard reads, Karasutran Shoreline. Let's sniff at it. The surface of the painting smells strongly of sea air. You place your hand on the painting, not knowing what to expect, but it's merely the texture of painted canvas. Oh, that's cool. This painting depicts a shore scene with a wide reddish-orange sun. Well, it doesn't look like a sun, it looks like some lips to me. The scene, though unoriginal, is breathtaking. The play of fading daylight across the water is captured perfectly, but staring at the painting for sun for any length of time makes your eyes ache. The placard reads, Surface of Thalassia. Oddly enough, there's nothing unusual about touching this painting. What is that? The hundreds of chips of translucent green glass which make up the stained glass window don't appear to be held together by anything, but rather remain free-floating and mysteriously suspended with the iron frame's boundaries. The shards ripple and move in slow waves, causing bizarre patterns to fluctuate across the window's surface, as various portions of it refract the gallery's light in different directions. A small placard beside the window reads, Arcadian Stained Glass Window. You reach out to touch the undulating glass materials, but find you cannot do so. Your hand stops just short of the surface. We're not going to punch it. That sounds like a very bad idea. This painting shows an enormous granite keep, a hideous thing, long and low, covered in leading gargoyles. Suspended in what looks to be a night sky, a cloud of crimson and violet vapour whirls in the background along the right side of the painting. A placard reads simply, "The Library." The Folly of Udo.
Your combat skills are most impressive, Darkon.
They are but specks upon Zerthamon's path.
So, how long will you be traveling with the succubus?
As long as I am permitted, I suppose.
Well, you're not permitted. I don't trust you.
Okay, that's quite neat. Just random dialogue that happens.
I'm gone.
Craven interior filled with colourful, faintly luminescent, gigantic fungi. Placard reads, "Veil beneath Klingeddon." Right. This is a portrait of a grotesque, hook-nosed old crone. The hag's flesh is a sickly blue-grey colour. Her eyes glow red with the embers of dying fire. Her chin, long and sharp, juts forward in the extreme underbite. Two yellowed canines protrude upwards from her lower jaw. Like small tusks, the smile of her withered, purplish lips speak of a horrible secret. A placard reads, "Grey Hag of Oinos." As you begin to turn away from the painting, something in it draws your attention. A strange tingling sensation arises from the back of your mind. A memory! Oh, hell yeah. You recall standing confused in a maze of briars. The hideous crone from the painting is before you, cackling wildly. You grit your teeth in frustration and wondering why she's laughing at you. "My poor, dear, lovely man-thing," she croons. "Why was that your first wish?" She points a single bony, clawed finger at your forehead. Your temple begins to throb painfully. You can remember nothing more. Ooh. The statue looks like it's about to make some angry proclamation. The sculptor has captured the essence of fury magnificently. The chiseled tension lines along the neck and forehead alone must have taken many long months to get correct. Fine cracks run over the entire statue, and there is a plaque attached to the base. Well, let's read it. The statue is believed to be the final fate of the Etherean sorcerer Gangrogyadan, attacked by a conclave of rival sorcerers at the height of his dream madness. He was imprisoned with a spell that turned his flesh into stone. Gargan is said to have been frozen with a final awful curse still on his lips, a curse so terrible that it was never meant to be spoken by the lips of the living. Oh, okay. Let's just examine the statue. Let's examine the cracks. You carefully examine the cracks that run like a network of fine black veins along the statue's surface. At one point, near its inner arm, is a section where an entire splinter of stone looks ready to come off. I'm going to leave the statue, but I do really want to try and rub some salve on it. You smear this foul-smelling ointment over the statue. There is a strange shimmering around the statue, and you watch the statue takes in a breath of air, and the eyes of Gangothron fill with a blazing, vengeful madness. Greetings! Before you can do a thing, a blazing torrent of words flies from the sorcerer's lips. As he speaks, you feel an agonizing sensation like a sudden wave of raging heat pour over you and settle your skin like a blistering wound. Blindness strikes as your eyes burst, running from their sockets like shattered eggs. You hear someone screaming and realize it's you. The last thing you hear, even over your own cries, is Mort
New
shouting.
taunts, all right.
By the lady's bleeded teats. What? Everything suddenly falls silent as the last of your senses flicker and fade away to nothing. So I get 4,000 XP, Mort gets improved, and I also die. Die horribly, a victim of a curse.
Oh, great. I hope he doesn't lose his memories this time.
Are you well?
Done.
Let's go back in there. Oh wow, we're really far away. And then we need to go and deal with Reekwind as well. Ooh, actually, let's go and deal with Reekwind.
Yes?
I don't want to talk to you.
The hive changes so rapidly. It has changed a great deal since I was here last.
Done.
Reekwind! Your curse has been cleared. You see Reekwind, his eyes have reverted to their normal size, and he is no longer assailed by the twitching spasms you have noted before. He is smiling, and he looks considerably cleaner than before. Greetings, Reekwind. I've got some questions for you. He looks at you amazed. It stopped. It all stopped, just like that. He snaps his fingers, then looks down at himself, powers above. I feel clean again. Good to hear it. Jumble didn't want to remove the curse, but I got it out of him. Thank you, sir. He looks flustered. I've nothing to pay you with, but you have me in my good graces. For whatever that is worth, he frowns, then stands straight. I will tell the story of your kindness to all who will listen. Actually, do you have any stories that you haven't told me already that could be payment enough? Of course. Requin looks around, though I've had enough of telling tales for a while. Do you have something I could write in? Oh, here's my journal. He scribbles for a while, then hands them back to you. Thanks, Requin. What should I call you? My name is... He suddenly catches himself and smiles. No, perhaps I shall keep that to myself. Thank you again. Hey! We helped Requin. Fantastic. Right, let's go back to the clerk ward and then go back into the gallery. You know, one of the things, you know, I should have maybe saw the death coming, but I did not see that I've improved Mort's taunt.
Yeah?
Skull mob? Oh, cool.
Huh?
All right.
Right, let's go into the gallery again. Right, oh, the statue's gone. The statue, in truth the once petrified sorcerer, is simply gone, presumably having walked off without leaving so much as a note of apology. The surface of this painting, a wild collage, ripples constantly as if it was seen. Wave Motion Study 7. Ooh. You cannot feel the ripples themselves, though a cool tingling sensation passes through your hands at first contact. Neat. What's this? A brilliant ruby statuette stands on this pedestal. Carved into the image of a winged humanoid, the figure is either demonic or angelic in nature, but it is difficult to tell which because it refracts the light in the gallery strangely. There is no placard indicating what exactly the statuette is. Ooh. What's this? A massive horn of beaten lead wound in brazen chains. The horn is horribly mangled as if some tremendous force has crushed it. Jagged blades protrude along its length almost as if it were meant to be used as a club by some gigantic creature, as well as a battle horn. A placard mounted beneath the horn reads, Cleansing Horn of Acheron. Put your head against the wall and try and blow into the horn. Try as you might, you can get no sound to issue from the massive horn. Your lips come away from the mouthpiece tasting of blood, smoke, and metal. Neat. Painting on the tall, black cliffs of blood-red sky. There seems to be figures hiding amongst the crags of the cliffs, but whenever you squint at the painting, try and make out they nothing. A placard reads, Outland Raiders. Ooh, Ivana, I will talk to you shortly. An animated bloody iron chain coiling and coiling upon itself. The chain seems to bend and weave like the spine of a snake. A small placard reads, A chitin's animate chain from jangling Heiter. Touch the chain. The chain is slightly warm to the touch, as if it were alive. You notice that various barbs, tiny hooks, needles, and all other sharp bits are welded along the chain's length. Ooh, grisly. This painting, an abstract work of greens and purples, writhes and ripples as it's watched. Closer examination reveals its actually painted image is changing, rather than the canvas itself. A placard states, Moment's glance from the walls of Mochma. You place your hand, as you suspected, it is not that the canvas is physically moving. Cool. Excuse me. This painting shows what looks to be an infinitely long stream of bilious green gas stretching off into darkness. The horizon of a blasted rocky plain can be seen in the lower right hand corner of the painting. One is given the impression that the head of the green cloud is rearing to strike down upon it. Hazathoth, the consumption of Ngar. Well, let's talk to Ivana. Before you is a well-dressed elderly woman in a gown of peach-coloured and golden thread. She stands quietly, her hands folded together primly, and nods in your direction. It is then that you notice that she has no pupils. Her eyes are entirely white. Greetings, sir. I'm Ivana. Welcome to my Galleria. Feel free to look. Spend as much time here as you like. Should you have any questions regarding any of the pieces, do not hesitate to ask me. Yes, one moment, sir. Your voice, it is heavy with age and wounds. Would you be so kind to permit me to touch your face? Yeah, go ahead. Ivana smiles, gently running her old fingers over the skin of your face. She frowns, looking slightly puzzled. So many scars, both old and new. They seem to... She touches the side of your throat, flushes, then pulls away. Pardon me, sir. I was curious to see how far they went. It's fine, and they're everywhere. My whole body is scarred. Ivana nods. Okay, so... You look familiar to me. Do you know someone named Yves? That is my daughter. For a moment there is a hint of sadness in her milky whiteness of her eyes. We no longer speak to one another. Why? There is nothing to be said between us. She has gone off in pursuit of stories, all for reasons I am unaware of. She told me a tale that might answer that question. Ivana raises her eyebrows. Oh, tell me, would you please? I'd most appreciate it. Tell her the Tale Chaser's story and of her endless quest for the tale that holds the truth she seeks. Ivana slowly nods. I had no idea. I will see her now. I thank you, good sir, for bringing me the news of my only daughter. As she speaks, colour slowly bleeds into her pale cheeks, her pale irises, until her eyes are a brilliant shade of green. Your eyes, can you see now, Ivana? She nods, smiling. I have another question. Apparently I've restored sight by telling her her daughter is looking for her. I mean, that's some pretty powerful words. So what is of interest here? I'm afraid I do not go far from beyond my Galleria. Okay, another question. Where can I find work? Okay. What is this place? Well, it's my Gallery of the Plains. Smiling gestures. Please enjoy them. And again, should you have any questions? Well, I do have a question. I want to know what this thing is. I had a question of one of the pieces. The Arcadian stained glass window. A stained glass window found hovering on the third layer of Arcadia 32 years ago, foretelling a scene that had yet to occur. When the event came to pass, the images faded to leave what you saw behind. It is believed to have captured both the light and darkness from the orb of night and day on Arcadia, then slowly release it, creating a brilliant and slow fade of dawning and dusk, but only within the glass itself. Orb of night and day, Arcadia? Arcadia is a plane of peaceful order, also known as the land of perfect good. The orb of night and day is a sphere set in the top of Arcadia's highest peak. Each half emits either light or darkness. The turning of the orb gives Arcadia its day and night. Okay, another piece. The statue of the Screaming Man. Odd you should ask about that. Just after a terrible noise, some patrons came running to me about a mangled corpse on the floor. The Harmonium came to remove the body from the premises but could find no perpetrator. I told them that in all likelihood some madman had released Garganel and had been slain by his curse, but the old sorcerer himself was nowhere to be found. I know nothing more. Okay, let's ask about the other piece. The ruby statuette. That piece was found in a cathedral in the fertile fields of Elysium on the first layer, Armoria the Untroubled, where it bordered the river of Oceanus. The name of the piece is not known, but the skill and craftsmanship are believed to be one of the most striking examples of gem crafting in the plains. The mere way in which the piece captures, distills, and enhances the light through its facets is part of the breathtaking wonder. It seems to bring the light that's possible ideological connection between even the most evil and the purest beings of the multiverse. Fascinating. Okay. Let's see. The Dark Birds of Acanthus. All of them are chipped from the great magical sheet of black infinite ice that rests in the black belly of the plane of Acanthus. Ivana pauses, tapping her chin. It is said that the sheet of ice is the final destination of the river Styx, and that the recollections of all that have plunged into the Styx's memory-destroying waters still lie frozen within the ice. If the waters of the Styx destroy one's memories, would the ice from Acanthus do the same? I would only assume so, yes. Okay, let's ask another question. What about the battle horn? Ah, the cleansing horn, a horn of beaten lead metal drawn directly from the cube of Acheron. It is said that the cleansing horn last sounded when the companies of the Jackal and the Gouged Eye clans met for their battle in the disputed lands. Legend tells us that the horn's power was used near the battle's end to draw the floating cubes together, crushing the routing company of the Jackal before it could escape. Cubes? Acheron is a plane of harshly enforced order, where conformity is more important than good. It is composed of gigantic metallic cubes which float through an endless void. Many cubes are large enough that cities or entire kingdoms have been built upon their faces. Okay. The Chitin's animate chain. The chain comes from the city of Jangling Hitter, the city of chains that hangs on Minaros, third layer of Bator. The chains there are the finest in the multiverse, but the inhabitants of Jangling Hitter are malicious and cruel, using the chains as living weapons against all that enter their city and violate their laws. Chitons move about the city of chains as spiders upon webs, adorned in chains woven tightly around their body. Chitons possess a power known as the Gift of Chains, which allows them to manipulate chains with their minds. It is believed that my Galleria's chain was animated during a battle in which the chiton controlling it was slain with a cursed hammer, its life essence then passing into the chain itself. Ooh, That's all I wanted to know. That's
Done.
interesting. Let's go back to memory person
All right.
and see if I can get this chain progression of quests sorted. See if I can maybe give Echo her tongue. Or a fiend's tongue, so to speak.
All right.
Right. Alright. Screw you, you little chaos sorcerer person. Right. Where are you? Come on, find yourself. Or let me find you. There you are. Merriman, here, take this mug. It holds a dark bird of acanthus, a sliver of ice from the river Styx. It should wipe your memories clean. Merriman takes the mug and removes a piece of paper from his pocket. He tilts the mug back and takes the ice into his mouth. It melts instantly, leaving him with somewhat startled expression.
Updated my journal.
Merriman? Merriman looks at you confused, then at the paper in his hands. He reads aloud, Congratulations, Merriman, you've begun again. Thank the man in front of you and give him the key in your pocket. Speak to Splinter, the man at the door of this building, for more information. He looks at you again. Well, it would seem I owe you thanks, good sir. Here, take this key. I'd best find the Splinter fellow and find out what's going on. Yeah, dancer! Right. I have a key, so let's go back to Dolores. Make her happy. Find out more about Echo, because I've talked to the other sensates there. And she can tell me about Echo, and then I can figure out how to make Echo speak. It's all coming together somewhat, somehow, somewhere.
Done.
Right. Dolores, where are you? Delora, there you are. Why do I keep calling you Dolores? Delora's eyes flash as she sees you. Did you find him? Has he agreed to return the keys? Yes,
Updated
here they are.
my journal.
At last, as she takes the keys from your grasp, her hand brushes against yours. Her skin is dry but icy to the touch. Like cold metal, these will be of great use to me. I thank you. Of course, Delora, I have some questions. I'm trying to find the Crimson Veil. Do you know where it is? Delora shakes her head. I have not seen Marissa's veil since she last wore it outside her chambers. That was some time ago. She shuts her eyes for a moment, then speaks again. Nenny sees much of what goes on here. You might do well to ask her. Okay. The silent
Updated my
person.
journal.
Oh yes, her name is Echo. Her voice, and in fact every means of communication, was stolen and destroyed. Echo's words once wooed away the paramour of the godling Paramisha. Paramisha, in a jealous rage, tore away Echo's voice, sealed it within a crystal vial, and hurled it into the Megogalamedraga's maw. Echo's voice is forever lost to her. Only another new voice could return her to her ability to communicate once more. I know this because I spoke to Maramisha's paramour myself once. Well, let's go talk to Echo, because conveniently I have a fiend's tongue, which allows you to resume talking. I have some questions, Echo. May I ask why you can't communicate? Was your voice
Updated my journal.
stolen? She nods vigorously, clasping her hands together and smiling at you. Do you know of any way to get your voice back? She shakes her head, her face wrought in frustration. She suddenly looks at you pleadingly, as if expecting an answer. I swear I'll find a way to return your voice. I'll look for something that would give you a voice.
Updated my journal.
I've got this fiend's tongue. She raises her eyebrow and gives you a skeptical look. I'm told that should you place it in your mouth, you'll regain the ability to communicate. She nods and takes the bottle from you. She gingerly picks out the severed tongue from the briny solution, and after staring at it for a moment, places it in her mouth. Suddenly, her eyes widen, and there is a burst of reddish light from between her lips. Are you alright? Echo opens her mouth and closes it, then opens it once more and speaks. I can speak again. Oh joy! Then damn thee to the darkest of pits, thou stench-ridden worm! Kneel before me in supplication, insect! Yikes! Echo yelps and covers her mouth with both hands. Her eyes are wide with panic. It must be the fiend's tongue.
Updated my journal.
She slowly takes her hands away from her mouth, nodding. It seems I must devour thy frail shell and consign thy soul to the abyss for all eternity. Thou shalt serve in my battle thrall till the plains grind to a halt. Thou art mine, mine, mine. Echo shuts her mouth again and then begins to softly, quietly weep. Wait, try using these diva's tears. They should soothe... What? Oh, don't tell me you're using 2 of my artifacts. Oh, I don't have a choice.
Updated my journal.
She nods, smiling, and takes the vial from you. Echo places a few of the sparkling blue drops onto her tongue. I believe the tears are working. Yes, they are. I can speak in my own voice once more. Oh, how I thank you. Echo squeezes your hand and bows her head gratefully. Her eyes are welling with tears. It was my pleasure to help you. Farewell, Echo. Echo, I've got some questions. I'm trying to find Vivian's scent. No, I have no idea. Have you spoken to Nenny? Okay, I've got some other questions. Do you know where the veil is? I have no idea. Have you spoken to Nenny? Oh, just tell me to talk to Nenny all the time. Ugh. Right, quests. Let's clear this out. And I also need to spice up a life. I wonder if these people have anything hidden away in there. I'm going to try something. I'm going to try something very, very chancy.
Ready. Right.
Oh! Oh, sweet, that worked!
I'm gone.
Oh, that worked, okay.
I'm here. Might
Right.
as well.
You're coming with me. We're going to loot as much as I can. Oh, Nenny! Nenny! That's right, Nenny. I've got some questions. Kamaxi said someone's been taking things for her room too. Have you seen anything
Updated my
odd?
journal.
Nenny's eyes suddenly go wide. Oh, that's right. You know, once I saw a man sneaking out of Kamaxi's room while she was out talking to a patron. I watched the front doors all day, but he never ever left. Isn't that odd? I don't think he could have made it out of a window, and so I never figured out where he went. And then I totally forgot about it. Weird, huh? Well, I know of a
What?
certain item that can do that. Let's see. Okay,
Right.
first off, Copper Commons and a handkerchief. I'll take that. And special ability, thieving skills. Oh, loads of money. Thieving skills. I'll take a copper earring. Oh, hold up. Accidentally locked yourself in that room there. That's interesting. So I can steal without any penalty. That's a novelty. Gold ring. Okay. Although the door seems to close itself each time I try this. Oh. Okay. Let us continue our journey of thievery across all the rooms. We've looted this. Yep. And what's in this room? Oh, 3 locked boxes. Okay, thieving skills. Some gold earrings. Nice. What's in this one? This container is locked. Well, that's why I wanted you to use your thieving skills. A handkerchief and a silver bracelet. Nice. And a thieving skills on this one. Nice. Another gold earring. This is very, very lucrative. I am very appreciative of this. Right, what's in all the boxes? Nothing. 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 Okay. Open the door. Anything? Oh, some coins. Yes. Nothing. Nothing. And a locked box. Okay, thieve it. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Anything in here? Nope. Thieving skills. Another gold earring. Oh, this is fantastically lucrative for me. Right. Yves the Tail Chaser. By the way, Nameless One, get over here. Yves smells pleasantly green again. Have you come to trade tales? Yes, I have. Oh, fired of the Ignis. Yves leans forward as you tell the tale of Ignis and the art that burned within him. She seems to devour every word. As you finish this, she smiles at you. I shall remember this tale, and now I have one for you, the execution. Once a murderer roamed Sigil streets, a black-hearted man, the name of Cossacks. He had been blessed by his abyssal mother so that no one could strike him with an intent to harm, or they would die. He reveled in his blessing, using it to start fights and murder anyone who crossed his path. During one of his murderous rages, he was captured by the Harmonium with nets and brought before the governors. The trial was so short, final, yet Cossacks laughed at the proceedings, knowing that no one among them could harm him without dying horribly. At the final day of his trial, he was proclaimed guilty and sentenced to death. Cossack's sentence was proclaimed by the governors. It was this: confinement for thrice 30 days, during which time you shall give up your life, be declared dead, and your body removed when all signs of life cease. Cossacks laughed and dared any of them to try and harm him, yet the court was silent. The mercy killers led Cossacks to their prison and locked him in a dark, empty cell. There was no cot, no lights, and only the door was a steel grate in the ceiling. As they lowered him into the cell, the mercy killer told him, "In the corner of your cell you will find a chalice that holds poison. Your death will be swift." "Aren't you going to execute me?" Cossack snarled at the guard. "No one in Sigil shall lay a hand on you with intent to harm," came the mercy killer's reply. "Then I spit on your cowardice," Cossacks laughed, feeling for the chalice in the darkness, then hurling it at the wall, shattering it. Its poison dripped from the walls and dried until it was no more. "Come then, you will have to try and kill me now." But there was no response from the grate in the ceiling. It was then that Cossacks noticed the cell had no cot, no lights, and no food and water. All that remained was the shattered chalice, the poison gone, and for the first time, Cossacks knew the icy touch of death's approach. In twice 30 days, the grate opened, and Cossack's body, now cold, was taken from the cell. It had given up on life, and the execution had been carried out. Ooh. Let's see. "Have you spoken to your mother lately, Yves?" Smiling. "I have, thank you. My pleasure." Yay! Let's see. We're good for the moment. I don't think we need to do any more tales. Actually, no, screw it. We'll do more tales. Yes, I have. "The ally of dangerous angles." Go on. The tale considers the suitor of the Lady of Pain one of many over the years. He was a young man who was obsessed with the mistress of Sigil. He saw her everywhere in every corner of the city. He would hear the rustling of her robes, the scrape of her blades, and grew infatuated beyond all reason. He hoped that if he worshipped her, that he would at last be able to see her, and so worship her he did. He was found dead on the blood-soaked steps of his own home, grievous stab wounds covering his whole body, but his eyes were open wide, and upon his lips was a triumphant smile. Okay, the story of Fard. Yves leans forward as you tell the tale. "I shall remember this tale. Once came a man who had experienced the most beautiful thing in the multiverse. It was intentioned to place the experience within one of the Civic Festival's sensory stones, magical devices which held feelings and memories of it for an eternity, leaving for others to partake of. But he thought about it. Wouldn't its being shared dilute the experience? So he held it to himself, precious thing that it was, and aged with the memory. But as he aged, the memory became tarnished and beaten, and he could no longer recall the glory of the experience." Ah. Let's see. Actually, I don't have any more. That's fair. Actually, let's ask a question. It's farewell.
All right.
Okay. I am going to go and talk to the armoire.
Done.
I have got some questions, Louis. So, Nenny told me she saw a man leaving the room. I think that was you, Louis. You think? Think? How could you be so alarmingly rude, to ludicrously presumptuous, as to spout such an accusation without being absolutely certain of your charges? How dare you, impertinent brassica, why I ought to... As Louis rails and curses, his drawers open and close. You notice a small bundle of crimson cloth tucked away some clothes. The repeated opening and closing of the armoire makes it difficult to grab. Let's wait for an opportunity to grab it. You stand poised at the edge of the armoire. It keeps gabbing on, but never seems to stay open for long enough for you to grab. Try and snap one while your hand is open. You simply cannot move your hand quickly enough to grab the crimson cloth within Louis. The most you can accomplish would be to get your hand crushed. Give me the crimson cloth. Shame, won't, never. Pull open the drawer. The drawer remains closed. You hear it puffing and wheezing from the exertion. Go away, you barbarian. Give me it. Pull open. Beg and whine for it. Oh, please stop that rubbish. It's quite tiresome and transcends all known meanings of the word boredom. Give me it. Pull open. Pull it open. Beg and whine. Beg and whine. Stop, how tediously dull. You're making me quite drowsy. We'll keep on begging. The armoire yawns, exposing the crimson cloth where it rests snugly beside some undergarments. You dart your hand and seize it before the drawer can close itself, tucking it away. You notice that it is perfumed with a light, exotic, and most pleasant fragrance. Damn it, you rogue, blackguard, scoundrel. You give that back this instant. That's not yours. That's an exceedingly personal garment that belongs to a lady of this establishment, and they would not appreciate your fondling their private things. Oh, but it's all right for you, you wooden pervert. I'm not doing anything so criminal and malicious as you are. I am merely soaking in sensations necessary for my growth as an individual. Yes, goodbye. Right, Vivian. Yes, I found it, this red veil. Vivian's eyes light out. Oh, how simply wonderful. She takes the veil from your hands, mutters a few words over it, and returns it to you. She shakes out her crimson hair. In moments, you are surrounded by the most intensely exotic and arousing scent you have ever had the pleasure of smelling. That smells great. It does it not? And as you have done a favour for me, I wish to perform one for you. Stand close to me, Scarred One. Okay. You step closer to Vivian. She takes your hand, turning it over, takes a single cautious sniff of your wrist. Phew, she wrinkles her nose. Vinegar or embalming fluid? Here, I will remove this smell from you. She mutters a few strange syllables and a slight tingling sensation spreads over your skin. In moments, your chemical reek lessens substantially. There, how is that? People should be less eager to avoid conversation with you. Thank you.
Looks like my skills have increased.
+1 charisma. Nice. Alright, let's go and give the veil back. Where are you? There you are, Marisa. Actually, I've brought you your crimson veil. That would you please hand it over? Of course, here you are.
Journal.
You hold the crimson veil before you, and you feel her take it from your hands. Ah yes, much better. 2 shining points of red light appear before you as she opens her eyes. So that's what you look like. Perhaps I would have been better keeping my eyes short. Well, watch that forked tongue of yours. Don't even get me started. Do you know anything of Ravel?
My journal.
No? Do you? You hear an annoyed sigh from the darkness. Go ask Yves. She collects many tales. Okay, we'll go and ask Yves. But tons of experience points, and Mort leveled up again. Well, he didn't level up again, he just leveled up.
Done.
Right, Yves, where are... Oh, hold up. Oh, you're just a patron. Hello, Nanny. Greetings, have you come to trade tales? Has my companions got anything? No. Another question. What do you know of Ravel? Frightener of children. Okay, I think we've done all of this, but yeah, we have. Yeah.
Updated my journal.
Oh, wait, there is more. Though my tale ends with Ravel's demise, there are some that claim hag still lives. Echo is one such person. Ask her of Ravel, and she might tell you more of the hag. Well, let's go and talk to Echo. Got some questions for you, Modron. What are you doing here? Who are you observing? Who? Yes, exactly who. The subject is Delora. Why are you watching Delora? Yes, that's because Delora is a construct. A construct, even. Right, Echo. Where'd Echo go? Ah, don't tell me she's gone and... Oh, there she is. I was mildly disappointed there. Hello, Echo. I've got some questions. What do you know of Ravel? Echo nods and Laura's like, in fact, not only does she exist, she has... What?
Updated my journal.
One of them is here at times, Kisse Ceres. She is a child of Ravel's, though she is loath to accept that fact. Who could blame her? She pauses for a moment thinking, I have never gotten her to admit it, though I am sure it is true. Okay, right. So let's go and talk to Yves. But first... we need to get Anna to go and open that box.
You'd be right as well.
This box. Right, thieving skills. Open. Nice. A love letter, handkerchief, and some copper comments. We got our love letter!
All right.
Let's have a look. Dispassionate steaming rather simple. Okay, cool. So we've got the next step to that mission is to get a love letter or proof. Right. Kasai. Kasai, are you Ravel's daughter? Kasai suddenly bares her teeth, her eyes narrowing to slits of crimson. Who would tell you such a thing? Echo told me?
My journal.
Ridiculous. I think I know if that wicked hag is my own mother. Well, who is your mother? I don't know, alright. My father raised me. I never knew her, but I look like a hag to you? Well, there is the skin, and the eyes, and maybe the teeth. She glares at you. Perhaps we'll speak later, but I'm in no mood now. What sort of things do you do? Ah, okay. I'm not tactful enough to do it, but I'm gonna go and do that mission where I can go
Your
and
mastery of discipline is impressive, Dakon.
In the eyes of Zerthamon,
Surely you're being too harsh on yourself.
a long road must I still travel. This is but the beginning.
That's very nice of you two, but do you have to do it the moment I'm about to leave? Right.
Done.
Okay, let's go and hand in that quest. Convince this guy that his white partner is cheating on him, but isn't, so that it can spice up life. Okay.
Done.
Where are you? Where are you? Oh, wait, there you are. Montague. Are you Montague? I need to speak to you about Juliet. I overheard her speaking at the brothel. She's having an affair, you know. Now speak falsely. I also found these letters. Here, read them. He takes the letters and reads them over. Alas, 'tis true. She has found another who loves her passionately. Ah, heartache is the sensate's fate, I think. I shall move on to another love and let this other suitor have her, considering the passion of his words. Wait, this is all a ruse. Hey, what? What is this thou speak of? She's trying to trick you into being more passionate. And why did she not simply say something? I don't think it really occurred to her. Apparently not, so what should I be doing? Turnabout is fair play. Say that you're bored with the relationship, that she's not interesting enough anymore. Thou art saying that I should feign disinterest so as to pique her interest? Assuredly that is irony. I shall agree to thou suggests. Observe the results. Good luck. And a farewell to thee as well, sir. Now, I've some things to attend to. Should we meet again, we might speak more on the matter. Montague bows and leaves. Well, there we go. 10,000 experience points for telling him, oh, your partner is cheating on you. Oh, no, they're not.
All right.
Oh, God. Right. And let's go back in here. Talk to Juliet and see what embarrassing things that she has concocted.
All right.
Juliet, where are you? Juliet, you in here? Yes, you are. Montague seemed disinterested. I recall him saying he was bored with things in any
Updated
case.
my journal.
Juliet looked shocked. He said, what? How could I have been so... Oh, it would appear as if my relationship had the troubles I so desired, and I merely missed them in all my melancholy. I heard that Kasai Sarah's daughter is Ravel. Ah, I thought I might have heard that name before. I know it's not the truth of it, but I have heard such a rumour. Though you may wish to ask Kimaxi Addertongue the very same question. They are half-sisters, you see. Okay. Man, this place is like a gossip haven. You go to one, it's like, oh, you, this person, that person, oh, this person, that. It's like, oh my goodness. Kimaxi, I have some questions. I heard that Kasai Ceres is Ravel's daughter. Is that true? As far as I know, yes. She looks suddenly suspicious. Why? I asked her about it and she denied it, so it's not as if it's any of your business in the first place. I also heard you're Kasai Ceres' half-sister. Yes, I'm related to that chubby, mewling, hook-nosed daydreamer. Same father, different mother, so... I was hoping you could help me find out if Kasai is really
Updated
Ravel's
my
daughter.
journal.
Kimaxi found it. Normally I'd loathe to help you like this, but I have a feeling it'd upset that flirting, preening doxy good and well. Tell her to ask her father. He's a powerful Cambion, so she ought to be able to call him right then and there. That'll get your answer. Cambion? Yes, Cambion. Didn't hear me the first time? Ears all stopped up? I'm asking what one is. My, you're clueless. A half-fiend, Burke. Sort of like you, but you're half dung, I think. You smell it at any rate. Farewell, Kimaxi.
Endure, your path is mine.
Right.
Right?
I have a thing that you need to unlock. This. What's in it? Oh, just a silver ring. That's fine. Right.
All right.
Nameless one. Go talk to Kasai. It depends what sort of things... I've got some questions for you. Kasai, I talked to Kimaxi. She told me she's your half-sister and that Ravel's your mother. Kasai snarls, her eyes blazing with malice. That hell's how I loathe that woman. Why would you even believe that sort of thing? She says that you deny it and in fact may not know it, but that it's true. She said that you could ask your father, that he would
Updated
tell
my
you.
journal.
Kasai stares at you silently for a time. Give me a moment. She turns from you and begins to mutter softly. The air seems to shimmer around her slightly and fills with a coppery smell like warm blood. Kasai remains turned away from you for a moment before finally coming to face you. I did not want to believe that wicked hag may have been my mother. I have lived long, I do not appear to age, and have disturbing dreams sometimes. Shudders. But still, I do not wish to be the inheritor of the evil she caused, nor draw the lady's gaze as my mother did. Such evil things she did. Tell me what you know of her. I heard she would pose impossible riddles to people, riddles she could answer but no one else could. She would devour the person if they answered incorrectly, or leave them dangling in her horrifying gardens as examples to all. Those few who somehow escaped, she tormented in her dreams, riding them like steeds, breaking their wills while hurling their souls into the colourless oblivion of the Grey Waste. Her magic was said to be beyond anything most had ever seen. It was imagination woven from nightmare and given substance, stone and solid shapes bent to her will like soft clay. The laws of the plains would bend beneath her feet. From nothing she would have illusion, and from illusion weave realities that could horrify and kill the confounded. She was a mistress of all the dark arts, mistress and master of them all. She hounded a governor that dared quote sigil law to her with shadows that devoured him, all but his tongue, his fingers, and the flesh of his face. She turned mercy killers inside out and shattered buildings of those who displeased her. Terrible, terrible powers were at her command. She changed her shape like water, and would use it to destroy some for amusement, and to steal knowledge from others. She was a monster like all that has been spawned from the Grey Waste. In the end, she threatened to open the cage and let fury of the plains come rolling in like a wave. Fortunately, she did not succeed. She existed solely to cause malice. I do not know if she is dead, but I know now that she was my mother. Kasai's shoulders slump and her head hangs down. Oh, that I had tears, though I'd weep in sorrow. Let's try and comfort. She suddenly falls into your arms, shuddering as if she were racked with sobs. For a time, Kissy simply stands there, clinging to you, but then she pushes you away. Thank you, but I'll be fine. I just need some time to think about it, that's all. I wouldn't worry. You're nothing like Gravel. Farewell. Okay. Well, that has cleaned us up a lot here. Find Aelwyn for Namel. Oh, hey, what? Okay, right. Find Namel. Right, that's cool. And find Amaris for Nod. And then find the Night Hag. And we also need to find a friend for Karina. And just how might you serve me, Dolores? I was hoping for something of a more physical nature. Dolores seems neither intrigued nor repulsed, but answers in the same flat tone. Then you're mistaken as to the purpose of the establishment. Oh, why would you say that? That's simply my nature. Allow me to show you. She reaches out and touches your arm. Delora runs the back of her hand along your forearm. Her skin is smooth and dry, but cold like chilled iron. The touch sends a shiver down your spine and sets the hairs on your arm on end. Do not trouble yourself to ask who or what I am, for I will only tell you that it's simply my nature. Alright, can we play a game? Of course, is there any particular game? I don't really remember any games. Here then, allow me to show you one. Delora brings out a thin lacquered box which unfolds into a small board marked with a grid. The contents of the box prove to be a number of polished stone chips, half of them black, half of them white. This game goes by many names. Shall I explain the rules? Yes, please. Delora explains the rules of the game, how the chips are moved, how one beats one other's opponent. It seems, however, faintly familiar to you. The rules are simple, yes, but a great deal of complexity lies within the game itself. It takes a great deal of time to master. Shall we play? Yes, let's. As you play, you come to realize that you've done so before. You recall various ploys and strategies that have won you previous games, and you employ every trick you know how to beat her. Suddenly, a strange feeling comes over you, a memory trying to surface. Whoo! That's a nice amount of XP. Memories of a smoke-filled field of battle begin to fill your mind. Atop a great hill overlooking the fighting, you sat, mounted upon a massive four-legged beast. The braying of horns carried your orders to the troops below. Even as you watched, your forces divided, fleeing left and right as the foreign army fought its way up the hill to slay the enemy lord, you. The fools, you had thought, lips curling into a wicked smile. My knight shall charge down the hillside and stop the advance in an instant. And in that very moment, my retreating footmen will fall in to crush their flanks. Ah, yet another victory soon to be mine. You suddenly realize Laura is watching you intently. Are you feeling all well? We might take up the game another day if you so wish. No, let's continue. Delora plays excellently, counteracting all but the most crafty moves, but eventually your feints and calculating maneuvers win over well-crafted strategies. She nods approvingly as she begins to put the game away. You are a fine player, perhaps a master. I commend your skill. Okay, cool. So we've already done the debates. We've already done that. We've done quite a significant amount. I'm quite pleased with the amount of experience that we've gained from this. Let's see how the stats are. 303. Close. A little smidge and then you get to level up again. You're not too far. You're ages away and you're really close. That's awesome.
All right.
Whew. I'm disappointed about Finnum the Linguist home. I would have thought that I would have been able to give him his book. But I think I'm going to call it there for this one. That's a good significant chunk of quests. Oof, we've got a lot done there. But I think I'm going to call it there, and I'm going to try and tempt myself. I'm getting more and more tempted by that Shipbreakers game. Each time I'm watching something, I'm like, I want to dismantle and break ships and make things explode. So I think I'm going to go watch some more YouTube videos and streams of that, and I wish you all good fun. I'm going to have a nosy. I'm going to try something. Unfortunately, no one I follow is streaming, so I can't do a raid for the first time. But I'm sure you can all have fun and enjoy yourselves and have loads of fun and adventures. So, cheerio, folks, until the next time I stream, which may be tomorrow or maybe the day after. But I'm streaming an astronomical amount recently because I'm loving this game too much. So have fun, folks, and cheerio.